thing.
Yep.
Hanging out with Randy, I suppose, or visiting Randy in Uxbridge, and you'll get Adara and Sharif, the Dallas Cowboys fan. We'll see you too.
See you in a couple hours.
Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the midday. I was on mute, Assassino. Welcome to the midday show. That's your girl, Adara, and I'm Sharif. And what a day it is, Adara. The small caps are moving. Yes, the Cowboys lost, but everything's okay. How are you? How's everything? The large caps are doing their thing, 25?
Yes, indeed they are doing their thing. I am in 3 shorts. They are all living their best lives, which is nice. So, and also they're all up here, so we'll talk about them. And we're going to start with Lululemon because I do have to say what Neil just said there about Lulu potentially giving it all back. I mean, I would be pleased to sponge. I would enjoy it. Let's talk about Lulu here. This was a trend break, but I have a specific strategy. I don't want to get into it. I'm not trying to be like, oh, proprietary, whatever, but I'm still working on it, so I don't want to, reveal all the trade secrets anyway. So this strategy hit. I was ready to short it around this, like, kind of 174.20s-ish area, and so I was doing the small cap recap. I missed the entry. I tried to punch. It was not going to have me, and so I just sat there, and I literally was, like, whispering to myself, Lulu, I'm back. But I was like, I'm not going to chase it. I ended up liking the way we consolidated here with that 172. Around 172s, I was willing to risk to 174.20. It didn't take as much size because I just liked the 174.20 better. But alas, still took about 2/3 of the size I was going to take added. Took some out around VWAP. Right now, we're risking to just above VWAP. I am pleased as punch. Trying to take up my first piece here around 167.67. Yeah, I'm a little specific that way. It's cool. Or no, sorry, not my first piece, my second piece. Let's talk here about Broadcom as well. So, I got in here. We had that break below VWAP. I want to shout out Obi's 350 short on this, by the way. I know he, he accidentally, whatever, fat finger situations, but I still want to applaud him for being in that trade. That 350 short on Broadcom was excellent. Get it, Obi. But yeah, I like this kind of consolidation. Very similar to the Lulu setup, actually. Risk to around here. It worked. Now you might be like, Adara, A, why'd you take out some so early? And then B, why would you add and ruin your average that way? I did the same thing with my Coinbase trade that I'm going to talk about. So let's actually get into this. So, I'm sorry, Sharif, I'll stop talking in a second.
Do your thing, Adara.
So what I want to say here is I think being aware that I was going to be on the midday today, it made me more conscious, not of my trades, but of being able to justify my trades. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing either. Because when you're conscious of something, not self-conscious, but just more like aware, then you're going to, I think, you're going to understand your decision-making process better. And I think the reason I realized that I like sometimes adding into the same areas where I just took profit is because that was a level. You took profit there for a reason. There was some kind of, supply demand zone there, right? So if that gets X'd out, then it makes sense that you want to add. So with that in mind, I got stopped out of Broadcom here, wicked out, whatever. I'm not going to cry about it. Then I add in again, we break 335. I was willing to risk all the way to 340s. I need to tighten that stop. That reminds me. But we're all good here. And then my good friend, my sweet, beautiful Coinbase. Let's get into it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm so excited. I'm in such a good mood. So Coinbase is one of my top ideas heading into the session. The way we were kind of chopping between 310, which is a level that I have historically loved on Coinbase, and 314, I literally wrote on my little watch list for the day. I just want to see what it does between these two. We get that 310. The way we get that 310 is just gorgeous. So again, I took out arguably too much. I took out 2/3 of the position here, but I really wasn't liking what I was seeing on the book. So I risked to actually we almost got wicked out here just above that 309s. We did not get wicked out. I add once again around where I take profit. Take out these other pieces. I still have a piece for the dream, and my dream's going to end soon, Sharif, because I'm going to take it out above 290s. Why? Because 290s was a bit of an area, I think, is it either on the daily or weekly? It was wide enough time frame, I got a little screwed. But yeah, with Coinbase, because my positions are not, I haven't taken any profit. Anything Lulu, we're probably going to get that soon, though. So Lulu, my average is something in the range of 172, maybe a little bit lower than that. Broadcom, 335, almost even. Coinbase, it's around 306. So that is the deal there. I think Lulu wants to bounce a little bit before my profit taker. I'm going to punch that out. I apologize for yapping. I'm so happy to be here. Let's talk.
All right. We're in HOUR. So HOUR is doing its thing right now. We picked it up at 44s. Now it's showing 59s. We're taking some out at 60s. We're above the 10 EMA on the 5. We're up 141%. You know I'm already looking at the top screen, scoping out the 5-second. And the 5-second showing a micro uptrend. However, we're below a consolidation zone. This previous area, we were using 460 as support. Now we're using it as resistance. So we haven't cleared this specific area. We're on a 3-candle higher low, but also lower high pullback on HOUR. So I am a little concerned about this one. That's why I'm taking some out for less profit than desirable. What I'd really like is a nice break and take and a hold above that 60, most ideally though 75, because 75 was also a previous area of support on HOUR. I've got a much smaller position and quite frankly not as worried about DUO. DUO is a much slower mover. It has explosive times. Like as you can see, this candle over here popped from 3 right into 3 1/4, quick as you like within one print. So I'm trying to work my way into this one rather than adding aggressively, but it's HOUR that I feel we're kind of setting up in a bear flag. Now, what I can do is I can move up my stop to prior bar low, and prior bar low takes me to 30. I had it in mid-20s anyway, so it's not a big move up on that part, but I also don't want to take out too much too quick. So let me have a look here at the 5-second. Now, we're downtrending again, and if we lose that mid-40s area, that'll be another local area low. And so, yeah, I'm going to take it out here, and then we can get back in if we set up at a more ideal area. My more ideal area on this one would typically be the volume weighted average price, which is right around psychological support. And what an out that was, 'cause there it goes into the low 30s. Now, if we get something above that 60 penny area, that's where I become a buyer again to the high side. I'm a buyer though at 4 for that volume weighted average price return, but there goes Duo to the high side. We're gonna wet the beak at the third of a dollar, get it baby. And then we're gonna see what else we can get. Here's the high of the day on DUO. So we just took out high day. That high day is 335er. So here's the deal. We're gonna set up at 38s now for a high of day break and take on this one. Where do I add? If I'm not gonna wet the beak here at the highs, where am I gonna add? Well, I like that 310 area. We danced around 310 for a hot minute, so maybe I'll front run it a little bit and we'll set up at 312. Maybe for a quick liquidation supply zone area. So that's what we're gonna keep an eye on right now for DUO. Adara, how are your shorts looking?
Yeah, they are all doing quite well. I did move my Lulu profit taker up by about 50 cents because I was like not liking how the tape was looking. It is what it is. We're all cool with that. We're living our best lives here. Apparently, the mic volume is different here, so I'm going to try to speak a little bit quieter. I already naturally talk loudly, so just fair warning, I do apologize apparently for the volume, I guess, there. TS, yeah, thank you for the kind words. I do, I want to be a little bit animalistic here. I guess I like getting a little bit aggressive if I see things that work. And I was going to say I was pretty patient, but I think I got into Coinbase, at 9:33. But either way, it's like, if you see something that sets up, you have to be ready to be that sniper and you got to pa-pow, get involved. So with that in mind, because my trades are just kind of doing their thing 21 and I don't really have anything crazy to report here, you guys let me know what you're looking at. And let's just take a look at things here. At ISPC, that eye specimen that is more of a Sharif-ish name, I believe that's a small cap, and it is a crypto treasury related small cap. I'll take a look. I'll do. You know what? We're at the midday, baby. We're gonna do. Oh wow. Okay. We got to push back because Sharif, I don't know how rare this is, so I'm actually like legit asking. So, for a stock to kind of gap up to that $1 level, come back to being a penny stock, and then move back to $1,
I wouldn't trade that. So personally, that doesn't work into my system, but it doesn't mean it's not tradable, Gary. That's the thing. And I see people trading these. Everyone traded Neon successfully. Yeah. I wouldn't have traded Neon yesterday, and I didn't. So the pre-market high at 4 a.m. prevents me from getting into this.
That makes sense. Yeah. You have to know what works for you, though, right? So I really like that.
Yeah, but people traded it successfully, so quite
that's what I'm saying, right? Yeah, like you can fully understand something works awesomely for other people, and what you do, like you said, you just have to respect that. Everybody has their own game, right? And everybody has their own approach. So Lucid up 8%, apparently, according to Zombie Brain, which, wow, I love that name. Take a look at LCID, and I know you had your whole Sydney Sweeney AEO moment. Well, Lucid has a moment with one of my favorite actors, Timothée Chalamet.
Oh,
so
I like it.
Let's get into that. Lucid, okay, I like this. I'm not even going to look at the daily because this thing just split, but I will zoom out a bit so we can look at reverse split, I mean. Oh, and I accidentally closed everything. Nice. But yeah,
Hour's breaking down, everybody. Sorry.
Hour, go into hour. I wasn't going to say much about Lucid here. It's going to break days high, though.
I mean,
it's okay. I was just going to say Lucid is breaking into high a day. And if you look at the 15-minute, this is actually not a bad recovery story. Now, I'm not going to be like lucid dreaming about this or anything, but, and we're still well below where we had that reverse split up to 20s, but we're kind of trying to break the downtrend. We started that yesterday. Today, we're up, and away. Maybe we're going to drive off into the sunset here. And for people who are involved in lucid, I do hope that we do. Broadcom is honestly kind of making eyes at me, I might add. So Broadcom here, I think maybe we missed that shot. That 332 is not bad. As you guys can try to see, I'm trying to take profit around 330, but 332 isn't bad. Right now, I'm risking to about 337. So, and like, I don't mind my average being lower. I'm not that type of person who's going to really like sweat too much about that. So maybe we'll do that. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Honestly, I've only traded these 3 names all day. I haven't looked at anything else that was even on my list because nothing really looked that good. So I don't really have too much to report here other than just living in my best life. Joe Schmo making a great pun here. The Vatican's favorite stock, PAPL, the Vatican's favorite stock, like PAPL, that pineapple energy. That might be Neil's least favorite stock because the pineapple. No, I'm joking. Would you believe me, Sharif?
Well, I think he likes pineapples. They're just not on pizza.
Yeah. But pineapple energy, would you believe me if I told you I believe this is another treasury play? I think PAPL, crypto treasury. So yeah,
Why am I not surprised?
Oh yeah, they were bragging. They were like the first one public company to hold that INJ something. Either way, PAPL, great
is that
look.
Crypto?
It's some kind of token thingy, thingamajig. But yeah, so good look there, guys. And yeah, hope. For those who are not used to my speed, I do talk quickly. These markets move quickly. Now I'm going to keep doing my thing. 21, I hope you guys enjoy it. And let's talk about the stock of the hour here.
Yeah, Adara, so it broke down into the 20 exponential on the 5, and it's forming a hammer candle right now on the 5. It still has a lower high and a lower low, so it looks like a fantastic candle when looked in isolation, but when looked at with the group of candles preceding it, not so good. So it did find support ahead of 4. So that area there looks like a little bit ahead of 410, 412-ish. We're going to keep an eye on that. We're doing real well here on DUO. We're taking out highs. There's the high of the day, and there's the print again. So now we're going to set up in the mid-40s. Let's see what we get with that one. We're also involved in a new name, OL frickin' MA. And this one's all sorts of frickin' strong. If I've ever seen a buy program, OLMA probably has that little picture definition in the dictionary because this is very clean. It's not aggressive in terms of volume. In fact, we're rarely doing above 100,000 shares per 5-minute candle, but there isn't anybody opposing us at the moment. So demand exceeding supply. We just printed the high of the day, 770. Good volume incoming. Your boy Joey Options would appreciate this volume profile, Adara, as it takes out the high of the day again. Here we go. Now we're going to set up at 82s. And now we're going to see if we can get 82s. And then we're also going to set up a little bit higher than that at 88. Shout out to my boy CD Lamb. He didn't have a good game yesterday, but you're not judged by one game. I don't think anybody wants to be judged by one moment in time. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. We're going to shout him out and hope he does better next game. So high of the day, 8-0 right now on OLMA. Watch out for a topping tail. The topping tails seem to be bought up. So the demand here is still exceeding supply, at least for the moment. That is until the buy program gets shut off. And you never really know when that's going to happen and when the buying institutions kind of exhaust its shares. I will in 1 second. Assassino, I haven't set it up. Thank you for reminding me, though. Back to DUO. There's another high of the day. Now we're setting up at 43s. The high of the day is 42. We're showing 42 again on the level 2 on the ask. Can we cross it? The spread has been reasonable. It's between 3 to 1 pennies right now. We're showing again.
That's too tight, Sharif. 3 to 1 pennies.
Yeah, I know. I dare. One day, I know you're going to figure out how to trade small cap spready tickers. I'm just waiting for the day I walk into the office in the morning. You're like, I've got a philosophy. I've got a strategy. I'm not telling you it because I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So
I just took a shot at you there.
That is, I know you did. But I did. I will say, I did trade that small cap that one time. Both.
I remember.
That INKT, I had like the short and the long, and but again, that was like spready. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding, obviously, but I know you will figure it out somehow.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So we're gonna keep an eye here on DUO. We're gonna keep an eye on OLMA, and yeah, back to HOUR. It's still the big boy on the day. It's up 120%. It's still at the 20 exponential moving average, above VWAP, above 4, but it hasn't shown me. Yes, this is the time. Get in now. The buyers are in control. In fact, the opposite. It's the sellers in control at the moment. I'm a long-only trader on these small caps, so we're going to hold on to this one today.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, I think, quickly tighten some stops here. If you don't mind, I'm gonna take a couple seconds to do that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I can continue as you do that. No worries. No, absolutely. Okay, so keeping an eye here on HOUR because you know I'm interested in this bad boy. We're getting a lot closer to that psychological level of support, and I like the $4, not just because people are gonna be looking at 4 and it's psychological support, but the volume weighted average price is there, and that's kind of why I like that conflating of those two levels. So whether or not we end up working in, we're going to have to wait and see exactly what the price action is at 4. But I got to go back to OLMA because it's coming close to my entry. Now, what's my move here? Well, we're getting extended away from the 10 EMA, but I'm unlikely to want to place anything on the 10 EMA because it hasn't touched the 10 EMA basically since taking it, I want to say, around 9:40 this morning. So what I'm going to try to place my orders at are a little bit higher than the prior bar low. So currently, we're in a we're early in our 5-minute candle right now. So the prior candle, 11:10, has a low of, I want to say, around mid-50s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up in the high 50s for an add on this. I think I'm going to wait at 58 on OLMA for a possible add. We'll wait there, see if we get it, and what the situation is there.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for giving me a second there. So we are all good. Our stops are tightened. Almost definitely our good pal Coinbase is going to say bye-bye. But, you know, I don't mind. I mean, I took this for like, from my first entry, which was I shorted initially around that 309s, though obviously my average has changed. From that first entry to the last, yeah, I mean, we'll take this for like a $12 move even if we get stopped out. So I'm pleased as punch. But I think we have a thing to remind everybody, look at our tickers. If you guys are like, hey guys, can you look at a ticker? What are you looking at? What is trade? Go in the chat, a $sign, whatever ticker you are looking at. $sign Microsoft, $sign Open Door, $sign Tesla.
Winning again, Adara.
I mean, like Eric Jackson.
Your boy, Vatican's favorite right there. PAPL is second place, Adara. AMD third. You got Palantir, always a fan favorite, Adara. You know, I do the afternoon rundown. It's always top 5.
It is, yeah.
AVGO. You guys got to give AGO some love, man. This Huck Tan is just a next level guy. Hood, you got Micron on there. Adara, Hour lagging there, 19. Lulu, it just broke my heart watching that yesterday. The destruction of a good Canadian company, Adara, but it's going to get worse before it gets better for Lulu, I think. UNH is your boy there. That one's really good. I saw on the, what's it called? The Jimmy Carter updates earlier in the month that your UNH not looking so bad now, huh?
Yeah, it's up about 10% from how it was. It's only down a cool 40% this year.
Okay.
No, but yeah, all jokes aside, go UNH, go. And someone asked me here, do I think the market's going to do a reversion? I'm going to look at the SPY because I do have my SPY chart, if you will, my SPY side chart. Look at this. Sharif, I actually,
that's a second pushback, Adara.
Yeah, well, thank you. You know. Why not? I do think there's a potential chance at a reversion here. I would like to see what it does at 646. Why do I say that? You may ask. Well, we got a bit of a bottoming tail here, right with a base around that 643-ish. We're back above 9 EMA, but I'm a confluence type. You know, maybe I'm a bit late to entries. I'll fully say that, but it's because I want to make sure I'm seeing everything I need to see. So what do I need to see? I need to see us hold above that 646, or we retest. We pull back to this 9 EMA-ish area of previous support resistance just below 645, and we retest. Those are the two things I would like to see for that reversion of the market. Now, Zach Brobeck asking here about NVIDIA. So let's take a look here at NVIDIA. Do I think, or I guess just saying that it's going to VWAP. I think that was, I want to make sure I'm reading the message correctly. Okay. Yeah, guys, keep putting those tickers in, keep putting those dollar signs. And if you want us to look at a ticker, make sure you tag us too. Because like I said, I'm really only looking at the 3 stocks I'm currently in, and I'm not really going to change. So, you know what, I'm very, very excited to look at everybody else's things here. NVIDIA, this is Zach Brobeck. I honestly, not exactly the same as the SPY here, but I think kind of similar in terms of we are looking a bit reversion-y. NVIDIA keeps touching that 165.70 and just not breaking above. I think if we get that 165.70 break, not a bad look, but then you do have VWAP, and VWAP right now, I almost did a pushback, but it wasn't worth it. They're natural, they have to come to me, right? VWAP right now is just around that previous support area, that we made right at the open in the Quadunk at 664, or sorry, 666.40s, right?
Mark.
So I think what I would maybe like is maybe we reject VWAP, perhaps, may chance. We reject VWAP. Let's say we reject VWAP and come all the way back to that previous resistance at 165.80. Okay. Now, I'm notably not long biased, but that would even maybe make me consider a long there. Then maybe you add through VWAP, et cetera, et cetera. BLDR says Junior Son. Let's take a look here at Junior Son, not to be confused with Adult Son. No, I'm joking.
Black Hole Sun. Do you know that song by Soundgarden?
I don't think so, no.
Black Hole Sun.
Oh, BLDR. This is...
My bad.
Oh, sorry. What song is this?
What?
By Soundgarden?
You know that one, Mark. Soundgarden, Black Hole
I don't know
Sun.
that one.
Hey, all right. I
Yeah,
feel that old, Adara.
Nice, sorry about that. I need to look that up. BLDR, yeah, this intraday is a little rough.
What's going on, bro?
The daily chart on this is just
crazy, eh?
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Crazy.
Look, uptrend, and we break out. Now, can we hold? Can we hold 145? We shall find out, because I think 145 could be a bit of a level. Now, if I look back at the 3-minute, honestly, intraday, that's the 3-day for some reason. Adara, what are you doing? 3-minute, I mean, I'm not feeling like any particular type of way about this, because, like I said, I kind of want that pullback almost to around the low of day, but then maybe we don't bounce. That being said, keep an eye on VWAP. Maybe it rejects here further. I think this stock is a little bit mixed for me, and there's some other ones. If you don't mind, I'll go over to
yeah, go for it.
I just accidentally put AEP, which is a company, American Power, but I guess it's not listed on the NYSE. AEO, people want to ask about your girl, Sydney. Guys, this looks...
Oh, we sold off a little bit.
This looks bear flaggy.
Down 3.5%? No.
Yeah, it looks a bit bear flaggy, but also I'm kind of conflicted even in saying that, because all of these 15-minute candles, for the most part, have either higher lows or a bottoming tail. And I think if we break back above that 1835, it's a bounce. Unfortunately, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have a clear read on AEO here. I think it needs to either break above that 8330 area, or even if I think it breaks below this 15-minute bottoming tail, we might have a chance to push lower. I think one thing that I've noticed with myself, one of my, biggest issues with trading is sometimes I will kind of, they use the term diddle in the middle, right? Like I'll chop around too much in the middle. So when I look at these, I'm trying to get a little bit better at what's the dominant trend, right? What's the dominant trend? And I think that you need to see a breakout or a breakdown for me to be confident either way. Let's take a look at Coinbase about to stop us out. I think let's take a look, last but not least, Cookie asking about AppLovin, a stock that is near and dear to my heart and that I randomly was just thinking about this morning on my walk to work for no reason. Oh boy, poor sad AppLovin. Okay, I was going to say we bounced right at a level I like. I think the level I like is 476. Let me cross-reference my other chart. Are we at a level that I like on AppLovin? No, but we did reject another level I like on AppLovin, which is that 509. So congrats to anybody who had this short off the open. That is clean. Yeah, right now I think with AppLovin, we did have a bottoming tail in the 15, but this second 15-minute candle doesn't look good. If we can actually close above this candle in the 30-minute, I don't think I get involved, truthfully. It's not screaming at me, but I think that's probably the best way to do it. That being said, you'd have to risk probably at least 5 points. How you doing, Sharif?
Well, Adara, let's just cover what's going on. Let me just set that up, 343, and then we're going to put, down to 338. Good. Okay, lots to update you guys on. We're doing it freaking live right now on Duo. So we entered here. There we go. Now we're doing it again. Let's just set up a beak wetter on this one. Didn't anticipate to have to do that. Okay, so Duo. We entered in at third of a dollar. Look at this thing go, bro. And then we wet the beak all the way to the $0.50, from the $0.25 to the $0.50. We exhausted our shares. Back in, I waited for the topping tail at 64. That is the high. I waited for the test of the $0.50. It tested the $0.50. And now we're back into the high side on this one. Now, I am a little concerned about OLMA. We've got 2 red candles now setting up on the 5. We have higher lows on said red candles, but I am kind of concerned. All right, DUO zigging and zagging back into the $0.50. So I've got my stop for this one at current bar low. Current bar low takes us down to 42s, I believe. So let's wet the beak up here. Let's set up, 50. We already took 58. All right, let's see if we can set up there on DUO. So I'm also keeping an eye on hour, guys. So I'm not trading hour right now. Somebody was in the chat like, why are you talking about hour? You're not trading it, I know, but I'm keeping an eye on it. So hour's forming a hammer candle at VWAP into 4. It defended VWAP, and now it's got the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. It hasn't closed. It's got another 1 minute to close on that. So HOUR, we're below the 10 EMA on the 5. That concerns me. As I've mentioned in the past, I look to the 10 EMA to act as resistance once it's lost as a support level. It has been lost on HOUR on the 5. Its current level on hour is low 30s. So we're going to need to stay above low 30s for me to get involved on HOUR. Whether or not it shows me a hammer candle at VWAP, I will not participate. Back to OLMA. So we've got 61s on this one. I'm waiting for the next profit taker at 72, 73. It's not forthcoming at the moment. There seems to be a seller in the high 60s. I'm talking about OLMA. Looks like we're moving into 68s now with low 70s starting to rear their head. Looks like we spiked up, in fact, to 71s as I look at the tape. Look at that, 71, 72 prints, 72 prints. We didn't get the beak wet there because we were rating at 73. We'll have to pack our patience. Back into DUO. We're still zigging and zagging. All right, so we got another print in the high 80s there, or sorry, high 50s, but it's still a topping tail candle and hasn't cleared the current candle high. Or now, actually, with the current candle closed, and here we go. We're back into the $0.50, and we're barely defending the $0.50. We've got 53s on. We get stopped out below 43s. 42 gets me out of this trade. So we'll give back a little bit on this one if we do get stopped out, which is fine. That's the cost of doing business. Back to OLMA, still zigging and zagging into the area highs here with the seller at 70. So you can see that there's clearly a seller at 70 and 71 on OLMA. What keeps me optimistic is we're still putting in higher lows on every 5-minute candle. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. OLMA is my focus there, and I also have to keep an eye on HOUR. It's just too volatile, too well traded for me to kind of get away from this one. And we're approaching the 10 EMA on the 5 from the south to north side now, so I'm watching intently to see whether or not we can actually take out that level. I just got stopped out of DUO for the last remaining amount as we broke below prior bar low. I'm a buyer again on DUO at the third of $1. Let's go ahead and set up, and we're gonna set up right there on DUO, so we'll wait. No, we didn't get, okay, there we go. Okay, now we're set up, good, my bad. I just made a boo-boo. So we're going to keep an eye on that, Adara. We're looking for hour to take the 10 EMA on the 5. Otherwise, we're just focusing on the current trades.
Yeah, I mean, all our eyes are watching that scalp right now. That was not a good pun. I apologize. Yeah, I want to have a quick moment for my friend Lily, which is just shooping towards VWAP. We're going to have to wait and see what it does here. Yeah, I mean, like, this 720-ish level was a nice base last week. This week it's been a nice base. Lily and that 736, now 742, have had some kind of beef that I'm just kind of letting it have. It's not something I really want to trade between. Kind of what I said about NVIDIA, though, if it comes back to this previous level of resistance, which it looks like it's kind of trying to around that 728, and bounces, I don't hate it as a push above VWAP, but if we get like any kind of 5-minute reversal candle, I'd probably try shorting this high.
Can I just interrupt?
Please do.
Sorry, I've negated to mention PAPL, and I should be really because it's trading like a small cap. Adara, it was halted. Yeah. I'm so sorry, guys. This is breaking out. It's taking out highs. We were halted at 840. It's a 913 high. I'm unlikely to trade this because of its volatility, unless it sets up insanely well. Let's have a look at the level 2. Sorry to interrupt you, Adara, but just have to cover this one. PAPL, let's go into the Nasdaq. Nope, it's not on the Nasdaq. Is it on the New York? Nope, so it's on the Amex then. And there it is, last one. Moore's Law. Let's see what we got over here, guys. Okay, so waiting for that chart to load up. Let's go, Mr. PAPL. And here we are. So 840, guys. 840 is the halt level. Look for that level to get defended. If it comes into 840, I think I'm a buyer. It's already tested the $0.50. Let's see what we can get here on PAPL. Adara, should we go along? It does actually look quite good, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna defend into 440. If it loses 440, that's fine. All right, so we're long here. We're gonna give this one, where are we long at? We're long at 75s. I'm gonna defend into 40s, all right? So we'll be looking at DCA unless we break down, and here we go. We're taking out all the levels again. So a nice price spike up. Let's see if we can get a little bit above 9. 875, probably should be setting up a dip trade as well for that $0.50 since we've got the $0.25. So let's go ahead and set up a buy there. Let's see if we can get a bit of a better price, but also set up some beak wetters to the north side. So I just want to mention that Adara PAPL doing its thing.
Yeah, of course. So whereas I got stopped out of all 3 of my my longs here. Broadcom got stopped out, I guess, slightly negative. I got in around 335 20s, and I think I got stopped out around 335 70s. So 50-cent hit here, not super exciting. I wanted that 330 for my first profit taker. We never got it. I stopped out on my other 2 trades as well, so we'll just look at those 2. Coinbase, I think, could reverse to VWAP, but I'm not really interested in taking a long here as of yet. That being said, if we do have like a break back below that 295 halves, maybe I'll consider re-entering a short, but nothing like I want to feel like I want to trade to yell at me. You got to trade this, right? So that right now re-entry is not yelling at me. Lululemon, I also got stopped out of here. I I don't know. I mean, I had a prior bar. I got, and I gave it like more room than I usually give, and I got wicked out. So I'm like, whatever it is, what it is. Rivian Millionaire in the chat, shout out to you, said $1 winner on Lulu. I'm guessing you had probably that long bounce. So congrats to you. Great look there in Lululemon. To be clear, like I'm not unhappy with any of these trades. I'm happy with what I did. Lily, I was maybe looking for a 5-minute rejection of VWAP. It looks like it wants to break above. I would maybe consider a long here, but why would I have to risk 2 for that? You know what? Yeah, I'm going to try the long. So we're going to try this long here of Lululemon. How is PAPL going?
I got caught in the down halt, so we scalped up. Yeah, that's the way it costs to do business. I tried to get out through 8. Yep, so we're caught in the down halt now on PAPL. We're about 60 pennies out of the money, a bit more actually. So trouble here on PAPL for me. Tried to get out using a script order, wasn't able to get out, so we'll have to see how this one does. It's still above the 10 EMA on the 5, so to me it's still tradable. So that's the way it works. It's cost of doing business. We don't have a big position, but we're out of the money on it, and that is trouble. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that, keep you updated on PAPL. But we're doing okay here on OLMA as we're taking out levels again. So we have 60s, we're showing 78s, so not a bad look on this one. We'll continue to watch to see if it can make higher highs. It's got 80s as a high now, zigging and zagging in the 70s. I also want to get back involved in DUO. DUO is continuing to defend that higher, well, I mean, the 50 penny area is generally getting defended. There were a couple wicks below. It doesn't look like there's too many prints below that level, so it looks like we got wicked out there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enter here on DUO, if it'll allow me. A bit of a spready one at the moment. Let's see if we can get that print. Otherwise, we'll chase it to the high side. Yeah, I don't mind taking 52s there. We'll take 52s. That's good. Oh, then let me in. That's weird. There we go. Now we'll get actually a better price, and we'll defend into 40. So I've got that bad boy still waiting there at the third of a dollar. So we'll park that bad boy into that level. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I am concerned about the PAPL halt. I am optimistic about it because it's still above the 10 EMA on the 5. That's one side. The other side shows me a possible double top, and that could be trouble for me as well because, well, we have higher lows, sure, but you know, not all double tops are created equal in that regard. So sometimes they're going to look a little bit different. We'll keep an eye out on it. So let's actually do a little bit more on that. So the halt time was 11:30:42. It's currently 11:32:50. So the earliest we'll open is 11:35:42. Current tap showing 784, but this is on the MX, so we're not going to be able to see the theoretical auction price. And that's the other kind of variable about trading a small cap into a halt on the MX because you're going to be flying blind all the while. So that's a little bit a lesson learned there, Dara.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that halt there. Yeah, I want to talk here about, I did get into Eli Lilly in the long. I'm a bit nervous here because, so I mentioned this once during the, I think during the midday, but I've realized the reason I think I've been short biased lately is because for whatever reason, the slippage on longs, like when you get stopped out, tends to be like significantly worse than the slippage you get on shorts. I don't know why that is, but it's a pattern I've noticed. One time I got slipped $3 on Netflix. Jeez. And that was a lot. I mean, I was still profitable in it because that's how Netflix is, but that's not the point, right? The point is you have to be aware. So that being said, I'm only risking 1 unit here with Lily. I want to be cognizant of the risk that I do have with regards to if I get stopped out of it being a long, but Lily is probably one of the stocks I trust my read on the most. I like the read on the book. I do think that this kind of VWAP is pretty interesting. So I was looking for it to reject. It didn't reject. I said, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. So that's what we're doing here. I would love to see the ask, though, get above 730.38. Now, we are not ask creeping. We're not doing anything that makes me think we're going to push lower. But, like, you know, pushing higher, Lily, that might be nice. You know what I mean? Gain a little weight there to the upside, you know. Give yourself a Mounjaro after. No, all jokes aside, I kind of want to see how that goes.
That's crazy.
Lulu, thanks for literally top wicking me out there. No, I'm not going to cry over that. The only reason I would get back into Lulu is if we get back below that what is this, like 167.70s. I'd have to risk 2 points. I would definitely size less on it than I did the initial trade, but that's a potential. Coinbase, you're not really doing anything for me. And then Broadcom, I actually think might reverse higher, and I'll tell you why, but I'm not going to get involved in that trade. Oh no, we just got a bid. We got a bid and an ask creep simultaneously. So weird Lily, that's weird, but I'll let it do its thing. So here's why I think actually Broadcom might go higher.
Okay.
So we have this little like this flat top-ish on a short term, the 3-minute here, around the 336.20s. Now, I would see maybe we get to VWAP and we reject. I would maybe take the rejection of VWAP for a scalp, but A, I think I already missed the long, and B, it's just not super appealing to me at this level. Go Lily. Go. Lily's back above that 730. And again, I'm not like, trying to get too excited. I'm like 10 cents in the money. But the point is, Lily's making the move. We're on the show. We're here to entertain you guys, keep you all awake. I really hope we're doing that.
All right.
And I want to look at path here for the people, UI path. And I think this thing is on a... this is not a pushback. This is me just readjusting my chair. There's nothing to push back here. Honestly, guys, for whoever suggested this, I'm sorry. I find path to be really choppy. I don't really have a clear path on this.
Oh.
Like, it's just, I'm sorry, guys, it's just chop. I'll look at the daily for you, because I think the daily, I believe there is something interesting here. Yeah. So the daily, I mean, obviously, we're breaking out of a little bit of chip, but again, not really in a significant way. What I would like to see is we have a nice little close here above 1140, and then maybe next week we continue to make the strides towards 12. But yeah, it's a bit underwhelming for me. So that is the look here for path. My good pal Lululemon, or not Lulu, Lulu and I are not buddies right now. No, I'm joking. But my good pal Lily is continuing to push higher. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy I had the impetus to get involved in that. And I am going to get a little preachy here for half a second. Like I said, what I realized too when I was on, because I knew I was going to be in the midday, right? I was like a little bit more cognizant. I was like, how am I going to not justify, but how am I going to explain this trade after when I talk about it, when I do it out loud? And I liked that process because it made me more cognizant of the decisions I was making. Now, with that in mind, I realized there's a difference between that and when I was initially on the midday about like a year ago, and we're near the end of my midday tenure, right? And I think I remember there was one time where I saw a really clean move on Lily, and I didn't take it because someone in the chat was like, "Oh, why are you day trading spready stocks?" Right? And it moved like $15. So the point I'm trying to
actually, and you remember that, eh?
Yeah, well,
yeah,
it was in August of last year, right? So that's kind of what happened. Like, my memory can be a blessing and a curse, but the reason I say that is because I've realized, I'm not perfect. I've had a couple red days as of late, to put it mildly, but you have to have that confidence and that ability to just kind of go in. If you believe in something, you have to take it, and that's what I did with Lily. That's what I did with every trade here today. I stand by every trade I've made today. Boom. And yeah, I'm not trying to, wax poetic, but that's the look here. That's conviction, chung chung. And with that, I will send you back to
Sharif. I'm keeping an eye on hour, guys. So it's going to be another 10-minute halt on PAPL. That has been its modus operandi, but HOUR might be making the move. I just don't want to get suckered into this too quickly. So let's give this one the old college try here as we move up a little bit, and I want to switch from DUO to HOUR on the top chart. I may get out also of OLMA, depending really here. So what do we have on hour? We got 37, so we just showed 40s. Not too bad. It's not an explosive move. The previous moves were a lot better. This is definitely being kept down by some selling here. You can just see it. The tape is churning, but you're barely getting any price action. So there's an equilibrium right now between longs and shorts. At least it feels that way currently on HOUR. So I don't think this is the time quite yet. Possibly here on it, and give this a little bit more time. Yeah, it's a thick trade. It's a super thick trade at this level. It's not, we're flat on it here. It's kind of like, to me, it's a breakout or bailout. You know what I mean? If it's something that's been super traded, like superly aggressively traded on the day, up over 100%, and it's popping down off these levels, I don't know. So what I'm going to flatten out here, we'll take that break even, which is fine. And if it continues to break out, we'll get back in. We'll keep an eye out on that. Yeah, so nothing doing there. Keeping an eye as well on DUO. We're taking prints on the spikes to the high side, still ranging at that 50 penny level. And then OLMA is coming back into our level. We've got 65s here, we're in at 60. This is looking like it might end the trend. I'm gonna flatten out OLMA here. I don't like this lower low, lower high situation, so that's gonna be the end of that one. So we'll be able to focus a little bit more on PAPL when it opens up and some of the others. Shout out to Jedi. Thank you very much, brother, for the, what's DOP again? Dominican pesos, right?
I think so,
250, yeah. I think, shout out to them, my man. Can you take a look at the TQQs, I think is the question. Absolutely. Let's just have a look over here. Bring in the side chart. We'll bring in the TQQs because we want to also keep an eye on PAPL because when that opens. Okay, so this is the weekly. We're not looking at the weekly. Let's go to the 5. Okay, so we're kind of bear flagging over here. Obvious aggressive selling into the open. Looks like we base out at 90. We reclaim the 10. We're still well below yesterday's closing print at 91.50. So the fact that we're rejecting here on the QQQs at this level is basically coming into yesterday's closing print. So typically you expect resistance at the prior day close. So 91.50 is prior day close on QQQs. More important levels though, well, not more important, but other levels that we need to note is the volume weighted average price, which is trading a little bit higher than 92, probably would be 92 by the time the price action comes up there. So you're setting up in sort of a bear pennant or bear flag, right? And then you're coming into another area of resistance, which is that 91.50. I'd be looking for a clearing there. You also have other things to look at above VWAP. You have to look at the pre-market consolidation. That 92.75 area was basically a pre-market base. That may act as resistance. 92.75 to 93. Well, that was basically a long area of inactive price action. So I'd be looking for that. Let me know how it goes. QQQs looks like the market's trying to recover a little bit, but definitely not. Oh boy, PAPL opened and we are selling off aggressively at Adair, so I send it to you.
Yeah, of course. So what we'll talk about here, I was just going to say, I think VWAP is becoming a huge level for a lot of stocks, and I think maybe subconsciously, or at least maybe retrospectively, that's why I still like this Lily long, because we actually are above VWAP. And the market isn't neither the SPY nor the Nasdaq. Now, App 11, I'm seeing some people talk about here. Shout out to anyone who had that reversion long, because that was a really nice look. I'm going to see what it does at VWAP. I'm not like crazy enthusiastic about this. If I get a rejection candle, maybe I'm interested. Now, the reversion here, maybe another reversion long that I may be considering here is Lulu. Lulu, you know, wicked me out, broke my heart. No, I'm joking. It's fine, whatever. But the point is, it wicked me out, and then it actually made a slightly higher low. So using an area too that we did use as some support in the 3-minute, namely just above 168. So if we can break above that level, I'm actually considering going long here, Lulu 169.50s, and then risking to 168. It would be like a one risk unit trade. I don't love it that much, but it's something that I'd be watching for sure. Lily's book has been really like boring right now. I mean, like the thing with reading spread that I do want to talk about for a minute, because that is one thing that I do, not exclusively, but a lot, is that like not everything is a lot of things are noise with spread, right? What I really want to see is like, you know, the bid creeping up by 1 or 2 cents into a breakout level, or the ask creeping down by 1 or 2 cents into a breakdown, right? That's really what I want to see. Coinbase gave me a bit of that with that 310, which is why I liked it so early in the morning. But yeah, I mean, like right now, I'm not getting an indication from the spread because it's choppy, right? So I think the biggest thing that I'm learning is when you're reading the book here with spread, it's going to matter the most when you're trying to enter, right? Or if you're deciding, hey, maybe I should exit, maybe I should cut and run. Right now, I'm not trying to do either, so I don't care. Lulu is being choppy, so goodbye to you. Palantir, a lot of people are asking about. Let's look at our friend PLTR. Also, wow, Palantir I think is going to break above VWAP. One thing I want to say too is thank you guys to everyone in the chat saying like, oh, good to see you guys back together. I'm happy to be back here on this desk. You know, I like visiting. I love doing my infographics and my stuff up at the desk, but it's always nice to be back here.
Yeah, and you love what you do, man, because you monitor what's going on,
right,
and you get a lot of satisfaction watching, because you're very animated.
Yes.
In your responses, and we love it. So
thank you so much for that. I love watching congressional hearings. Actually watched some for fun last night after work, so I'm a nerd. But yeah, Palantir, 15-minute, I was looking for some direction, and the direction I get is chop. Maybe the daily will help me more for, okay, good friend Palantir. This daily. Okay, so we got a little bit, I don't like that sound, I'm sorry guys. Last week, August 25th, that would have been Monday, we did get a little bit of support around that, 148 area. We bounced off it today. I think if we break that 148, I don't know if I love that. So I think like closing below 148 in the daily might be a bit dicey. That doesn't help you guys intraday. I apologize. So let's look intraday. I think this is a nice look. I really don't have any levels I love. Much like a lot of these stocks, we broke above that resistance that we had before VWAP, and now we're breaking above VWAP. This whole market looks very reversion-esque. But you know it's not. Okay, what? You know it's not reverting here. What? You know it's not pushing above VWAP, Sharif?
What?
Tesla.
Oh.
Tesla, okay, actually, no, maybe it's consolidated. It looked more bearish on my side chart because it was zoomed out more. Yeah, never mind. I think Tesla can probably still break above VWAP. I redact my point.
All good.
Who is watching the news today, says Chucky V. I will be Chucky V. I'm only here for an hour. So thank you guys very much for letting me sit here and be here.
Do you want to lead the news since I didn't do anything today?
Yeah, I can lead the news. I don't have any formal notes. I'll just, talk what I remember off the top, which is pretty decent. Yeah, Lily's struggling.
We can go off your watch list too, so
that works. That's what I figured.
That we can all follow. So We're down on the day, but we're going to maintain our good attitude. And we're buoyed a little bit by this trade on DUO. This one is really breaking out. We've got a good price on this one. We've got, what are we, 51s? It just went the beak there at 75. So this one is doing well. It could have been better, right? Because I didn't get my ads either at 41 or 37. So, it was consolidating above the $0.50. I should have been more alive to that, right? Alive to the fact that it wasn't losing the $0.50 by all that much. And so I was quite ambitious, maybe naively so, to think that I'm going to get that 41 print. So we'll keep an eye out on that. I don't mind adding on a drop back in. I'm thinking back to the $0.50. I'm likely going to be buying here because DUO keeps going. And the 10 EMA on the 5 has just been absolute freaking money on. Make Sharif rich again, bro. That's impossible. I'm broke for life, broke gang. All right, we're kidding. We're gonna set up now at 82s on my very good friend DUO. And again, I'm gonna set up some dip trades. We're gonna cancel the current dip trades that we've got on DUO because I don't think they're relevant anymore. And here it goes, man. We're back at 75. It looks like we're gonna flat top break through 75. As I mentioned, I've set up on 82s, but I'm gonna set up here for a dip trade. Here we go, looking to take that. 52s, we'll set up at 52s, right? And we'll get in for that much. So high a day right now on DUO, 80. We haven't cleared 80. I'm waiting at 82s. Good strength on this one, 45%, looking to take 50. Here's 79 again. Yep, seller at 79. The dance with absolutely no underwear or pants is manifesting right now at 82s. That is the high of the day. And we got the print at 82s. We're finally breaking out. 85 high a day, 87 high a day. DUO's going, 90 high a day. Here's the breakout, guys. Watch in anticipation of 4. We're getting the breakout right now, finally on DUO. It zigged, it zagged, it danced. It did the rain dance. It did the sun dance. It did what it needed to do at the $0.50. And then all of a sudden, the trading gods did respond to it. No, I exaggerate for effect. So now we're going to set up north of 4. All right. So with 390 high, we're setting up at 405. And we're going to see exactly what we get on this bad boy DUO is what I'm keeping my eye on, Adara LePage.
Yeah, Sharif Gabriel, Lululemon almost gave me what I wanted here. It actually did. It did give me that break of that 168.20 I just kind of talked about, but I didn't get filled. I kind of noticed a little bit after. I was like, I'm not going to really get that wick that I need. One thing with spread, too, that I will like is if you just miss a move, sometimes if you punch around the midpoint, it can, wick you in, and that's really nice. That's one other benefit of spread if you use, midpoint entries. The other way for me to enter this that I did allude to earlier is I get in at 167.70s. And initially, I was going to risk all the way to 169.50s, RIP, my earlier short. But the other way I could do this actually is risk to the 15-minute prior bar high, excuse all of my spaghetti lines here, which would be that 169.11-ish. Now, I would give it more room than that, given that I gave my other stop more room and I still got wiped out. So I don't know. I don't want to be biased here with the fact that I did get out of the other trade, but I have to be aware of that, right? I have to be aware of the fact that could be impacting my bias, and that's why I'm mentioning it a couple times. Lily, I'd like you to stay above the 9 EMA, please, and thank you. You don't have to. I get that. Wow. You don't answer to me, right? You're an independent stock with your whole life and dreams. That being said, if you'd like to stay above the 9 EMA, I mean, hey, But the other way to do this now, Sharif,
yes, ma'am.
731 has proven itself to be an area of resistance. And I said this earlier today. I have no problem if I'm in a long adding at previous resistance when we break out of it, or if I'm short adding at previous support. So with that in mind, 731 breaks, I'm going to add. And I would move the risk to wherever our lower high, or I guess our higher low is in this case. Now, that being said, are we going to get a higher low? I don't know. This book has been super consolidative, so I'm trying not to focus on the spread too hard right now. But I do want to talk about as well, I had mentioned that some of these Meg 7-ish tickers were heading into VWAP. They're kind of rejecting. Gaurav, I think in the chat, mentioned Apple feeling VWAP. Tesla right now bouncing oddly, okay, this makes sense. Bouncing at a little bit of, I guess, intermediary resistance here around just below 348. So you're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, that Tesla's at kind of a weird spot. Apple, I did not look at the dead one, as we call it. Get ready for, okay, Yeah, that's interesting, Grav. On my chart, it looks like we broke above VWAP, but either way, we didn't like being above VWAP because it's all the way back down, but there's not enough volume on this to make me think this is news either. So thank you for pointing that out. I'll keep an eye on that. Palantir breaking above VWAP. So just a quick VWAP check here, guys. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here with everybody. I want to mention as well, we did have someone I think it was Ozan saying, oh, why does the cow button never get pressed when Sean isn't here? I think he's the only one with the cow
he's
button.
The only one,
That's
brother,
what I said.
yeah.
So,
we can ask Assassino, but you tread carefully when you ask Assassino, because you ask the wrong way. You don't speak nice to him, Adara. You may not be here.
Oh my gosh, I just realized they moved the desks.
Yeah, I know. And have you seen the size of those monitors?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
How are you doing over there?
On Mas Grande.
I'm
Are they good? You're going to figure it out, Obe? You're going to let him know?
Oh, he already has the bull and the bear over there, too.
Look how good that looks. It doesn't have that cinematic effect.
It does.
All right.
It's like a TIFF movie. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of TIFF movies, we're going to get to that in a little bit. That was really, really fun yesterday. It was my first ever TIFF event.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
It was opening night. Your boy Carney was there. We watched that John Candy, great Canadian. We went to Liberty Grand for the after party. All drinks included, all food, all hors d'oeuvres.
That's amazing.
The hors d'oeuvres, Dara, was really good. And they had like a drone show outside in the courtyard.
I'm sure you love that. You like the whole
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
That's
We took pictures. We'll show it in a little bit. But yeah, it was good. It was good times. That's why I didn't watch the Cowboys game, because, well, we were doing that. Guys, DUO is what we all thought it was. Okay? It's now a 396 high a day. Not going to take the print until we get above 4. We're waiting at 405. But I want to bring to your attention another one. That Bovin. You know Bovin. You know he's my other pair of eyes. Shout out to the OG. EQ is still on probation, Bovin, okay? To put it that way. It's on probation because the volume profile displeases me. But it is picking up incrementally. I want to say from 1120 onwards, it's been picking up. And then you've had respect for the trend. Higher highs, higher lows. You've got a good look here on EQ. So EQ is the ticker. It's a $127 million market cap. The float on this animal is apparently 46 million shares, so it's not huge, but it's not small. It looks like it's a little spready, just from what I'm seeing here on the chart. So we're going to have to load up, Adara, the trading screen to find out what is good with EQ. Piece of crap. PAPL is moving back up. I want to exact revenge on PAPL. No, I'm kidding. That's crazy. Let's pull up EQ. That's bro, killing me. All right, so there's EQ, Bovin. It's moving into the high of the day. It's a 2-penny spread right now on EQ. It's 23% in Greensville. It does look like it's picking up a little bit. Let's see if we can, maybe weasel away. Where's the 10 EMA? It's a little bit above 2. I'm going to look for a liquidity grab, maybe around 7s. Okay, we're going to post up at 7. It loses 2, we're out. It's basically that simple, okay? So that's what we're doing right now. We're doing it freaking live on EQ. We're going to keep an eye out on that. But we also have to keep an eye on DUO, because DUO, Adara, is back into the high of the day. And here we go again, 96 seller again.
I really like these the
beak wetters
and the beak wetters there.
Well, entry and originally, there we go. And then, well, you want the beak wetter?
Yes, I was
gotcha. Original entry on this one was the flat top break. We added on the $0.50, and we've been wetting the beak ever since. So 96 high, here we go. We're just watching on DUO if we can take out that 96 seller. He's been a staunchy little bugger. We haven't been able to break out through there. Ebb and flow portfolio says IVVD. Let's find out.
Vivid. I remember that one.
I'm still keeping an eye on EQ. I want to get involved, but I also want to keep an eye on, IVVD. Sorry, I'm just trying to concentrate here. Here we go, IVVD. Let's have a look at this. Okay, not bad. What's the volume profile on this? We've got 3.75 million, and the volume is picking up substantially here. Each of these has about 600, each of these 5-minute candles has about 500,000 or 600,000 shares a pop. So this is not a bad look, man, on IVVD. Who we're going to replace? We're going to replace PRSO, IVVD. So that one goes onto the side chart, and it becomes watchable now. Did we get anything on EQ? The answer to that is no. So yeah, IVVD, great call out, man. Ebb and flow portfolio. Good luck. We'll have to see if the volume profile continues to trend in that direction, which is a bit higher. Obviously, that's what you're looking for. But there goes, man. What's it called? Oh, crap. EQ. Again, it's leaving without us. Adara, it's just going here. So this is a good call out by the OG Bovin. The volume's picking up on this. We're going to try to punch into the highs over here. Smaller position than the one we're waiting for down here. So we won't take too much out too quickly because it's a bit of a smaller position on this one. So I'm going to keep my eye on that. Back to DUO. Sorry, I got a zig and zag. DUO, $4, high a day. We took out that 96 seller momentarily, but that was the operative word here, momentarily, because we're back down below 4. We're zigging, we're zagging, we're losing the bid here into the mid 80s, but it's still a higher low. We defend prior bar low on Duo, so the sellers are coming in fast and furious at $4. Is this an opportunity to get more on Duo at this level? Is this the level before we end up taking it out? I'm talking about that $4 level on a decisive basis. I'm going to get in. I'm adding here. All right, so let's get in a little bit. Where did we get? We got high 70s. Not bad. That puts our cost basis at 73. We set up a little bit in the mid 80s, and we're going to set up a little bit in the low 90s. And we're going to wait for the buyers to possibly step in here at this area of technical support. What's that area of technical support? Current or prior bar low. Looking for those same area buyers to come in. So anything, since we've got low 70s, I'm going to go ahead and say this loses the 10 EMA on the 5, which is ahead of 60. That's the end of the trade for me. So we're going to risk 13 pennies on the last remaining amount here on DUO to see if we can break above for Adara.
Get it. Sharif, yeah, I really want to use this as an example here on Lulu of what I say when I mean like reading the book here at levels when you're going to get that breakdown is really important. Lily's living her, oh my gosh, Lily, go Lily. I was going to add, and then I was like, I don't really care. I'm distracted by Lulu. Let's talk about Lulu here. So I know it's confusing for me too, Lulu and Lily. But either way, Lulu, and I'll pull up the chart here for you guys. So here's Lulu. And what I'm looking for, and that's why I didn't get in. So what I wanted to see here, I was looking for 168.30, which is like the 15-minute prior bar low, and also this kind of, it was the last, I guess, what was this? The most recent lower low, I guess, that we got. What I wanted to see here was a break below 168.30 on the bid. We faked it. We got right to 168.30, and then we come all the way back up to 168.50. Now, that could have been another fake. It could be, inceptioning us here, Sharif, and it looks like it is. So that's what I want to see, guys. I want to see this ask push down into that 168.30 level as the bid pushes lower. We're getting an ask creep. Ask creep. Sorry, I always need to emphasize that. So we're going to get involved in this. I don't think I think I missed it. I put here 168.30s. I don't think we're going to get that fill. I think I was a little too patient here. But let's wait and see what happens. Lulu, if you just want to go up, I'm going to be nice to you.
All the way up.
A couple seconds. No, I don't even need it all the way. I don't want it all the way up. I'm going to be short, Sharif. I just needed to do a little bit of the way up. I'm going to look at it cutely until it does what I want. It's not going to. That's fine. Lily, though, we'll talk about what we're living our best life in as we look at the position board and hope for a Lulu fill. Lily gave me that 731 break. And it was so funny. I was watching it was like watching paint dry with Lily.
I don't like that, Adara. I find it to be tedious.
I don't know. I mean, watching paint dry literally, I'm sure is. But when you're watching it here on this order book, you're like, okay, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? It faked me out. I thought it was going to drop here because the ask was, or the bid was mid 729s. And I was like, okay, we might crack. I have my stop right now just above 179 or 729. So I was like, I don't really know. Then it gives us this big push up, and I was like, okay, thank you very much, Lily. We're in the trade. We're killing it. We're not killing it. We're living our best life. The stock is making me happy. Yeah, guys, I'm so happy to be here. I'm just pleased as punch. Where's the next NVIDIA support? Says Aaron, or if I were to quote a Keen Peele sketch, Aaron. Let's take a look here.
I have a friend, his name is Aaron.
Really?
Not
like
Aaron.
A-R-O-N? Or
he spells it A-A-R-O-N.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but it's an Aaron. I know. Yeah. It's a thing.
It's like this girl I went to high school with whose name was, spelled Danica, but she pronounced it Danica. And I'm like, okay.
That's cool.
But let's talk here about NVIDIA. NVIDIA, Aaron, I find this is pretty interesting here. I don't know where the next support is going to be. I think it should theoretically be, though, the area that we're about to break. So the low, we just got filled on our girl Lulu, so I'm going to set that stop in a second. But if you look here at NVIDIA, that is, where's this low? I'm blind. What about 168.30s, right? I talked about that area earlier. I think if we can hold this support and then we can break above that wick that we got around 167s, I think that's, sorry, I said 168. I meant 166. 30, I think we can hold that 166.30 support and then break into 167. That's the area I like. But Aaron, I think if we break below 166.30, I don't think we have much more support on NVDA. Poor Jensen and team. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say here.
Yeah, I got it, Adara. I've got a lot to say. So
let's do it.
Here we go. So we're back in. I'm very pleased this punch. We added into DUO, into the dip onto 70. So we defended that level. We're showing 80s. So we got a little bit more now because we had exhausted our shares. Remember, we were waiting for that 4 or 5 print, and we didn't get the 4 or 5 print. We dipped down on DUO. We defend, the 10 EMA most notably. And there's the ad. Actually, we added twice. So I'm pleased with the shares that we've got here on DUO. But I'm keeping my eye on it. I know that $4 seller is a pesky little bugger. So we're going to keep an eye out there. And then we're doing it freaking live as well, Adara, on EQ. We're taking out the level. Shout out to the OG Bovin. He's the one that gave me this one. We're in at 18. We just wet the beak there into 28s. We're showing 29s. We've got a 30 high a day. So we're going to wait now at 36. Let's see if we can squeeze. Let's see if that seller coming in into the the high 20s, low 30s is going to be as pesky of a bugger as that seller at 4 on DUO. So that's what we're keeping an eye on. EQ up about 30%. So I'm pleased this punch with this trade. I just canceled, that print at 36. So we're going to set that bad boy back up there. Pardon me. All right, so we're showing 29s. Let's go back over here. I've also weaseled my way back into OLMA. I just see way too much buying at the higher lows to think that this one is not going to flat top break through 780. I mean, if I've seen a flat top break, we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to,
Well, that looks really good, actually.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, initially got in, I danced with it, Adara, but it's not the best one so far. Maybe we'll do a little bit better on that next price ascent. And here we are, showing 78s, 79s again, and then the seller coming in at 80s. Maybe here the move is to pick it up on the lower highs. But there goes Duo again, Adara. We got 69er on Duo. That pleases me even more. And now we're showing 94s again. As we knock on that $4 door, is it going to open the door, Adara? I know, open door.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
they're not Eldera standard puns.
You know the secret is you have to stand outside Drake's house with a weird sign and make a really bad Drake pun and post God's plan memes on your
That's how he's
X.
going to get his attention, right?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Eric Jackson, I am directly calling you out. And I will say, I want to say one thing. Eric Jackson, do you respect the way that he's kind of been able to galvanize people on X? Man's clearly great at social media marketing. Do I think some of it is a bit excessive? Yeah, for sure. That's my take on Eric Jackson. But I do, shout out to everybody who is in that stock. I hope everybody the best for that. So Lily broke 729 on the bid. I suspect my good friend Lily is going to probably stop me out pretty soon. But I'm not gonna force it. I have my stop in. I'm chilling. I'm living my best life here. Lulu. Oh, I'm so pleased. Yeah, about 60 cents of the money in Lulu. I kind of want to add, if we get to that 671, the reason I'm not getting super excited about the ad is because I don't really know where I'd move my stop to, and I don't want to force any okay, maybe we'll do that. When I get back to the news desk, maybe I'll do that. Which, speaking of which, guys, I think, are we doing the lesson of the day? Or no?
He's eating.
So, yeah, I don't want to force, I just don't, because I'm here.
Maybe give him an opportunity to eat, and then you can.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not trying to do it like that.
Unless you want to get up.
I don't mind. Yeah, I'm good. As long as everyone's good with whatever. We'll give Neil the opportunity to eat.
I think we're good. We're there.
I think we're chilling, yeah.
You haven't tested your mic.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So never mind. So we're all good. We'll be patient. Where did this chart go? Did I close it? Did I lose it?
People are happy to have you on, bro.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here, truthfully, too. And Trump's not speaking till 4 p.m.
Okay.
So what's the hurry for?
Who's he talking to?
He is talking to the world. It's an announcement. Sharif,
what is he announcing, Adara?
Well, I always make this joke. I love whoever writes these Trump calendars because they're either incredibly vague or incredibly specific and never in ways that make sense.
Well, he wants that, right?
Well, sometimes it'll be like Trump and First Lady, all caps for some reason, but not always all caps. Attend this thing.
It depends
like one
on his
time
mood.
it said specifically what play they were going to see at the Kennedy Center. It's like, oh, they attend Les Miserables. And I'm like, this is so specific. And then tonight we get
It
Trump.
depends on what he wants.
Yeah, Trump makes an announcement. Trump hosts a dinner. It was yesterday's. So it's like, I don't know. It's a pretty interesting look. Yeah, guys, I'm so happy to be here with you all. I did get stopped out of Lily as I expected.
I got to do this, baby.
Please do it.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
Are you going Tesla?
No, we don't have Sizzler. I would totally go. I would totally go take a picture so that it would go with the whole thing.
That's perfect.
Duo Adara is what we all thought it was.
Is it duoing it live?
It was. It's not like that piece of garbage PAPL that caught me down in a down haul. Boom on frickin' Duo to the dang high side. It is now a 408 high a day. We're holding a piece into 69er, and we're going to continue to watch. We got a 408 high a day. It's not clearing for, decisively yet to say, okay, I'm going to buy at that dip into 4. Let it clear a little bit more. And here it is again, 414 high a day. Go, Duo, go. I saw Duo earlier this week. You know about that, Adara. We were at the Duo.
Duolingo.
Exactly. So it's been a Duo kind of week. We're going to keep an eye out on this. I hate Duolingo. Do you know what they did now? They introduced another metric. So your power. So if you don't have enough power, you can't.
What does that mean?
So
How
it's
do
like
I accrue power?
you have to answer questions right, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So you accrue more as you get more certain questions right. But if you don't have enough power, now you're shut down for the day. That was never the case. You were only shut down if you got things wrong and you lost hearts.
So what is this, like trading?
No, they're trying to force you into super.
Oh.
They don't want you on the ads anymore, right?
That makes sense.
So
That's
they're
pretty
trying
nasty,
to force
though.
you into do. So that's new. So I have a new reason to hate them.
Yes.
There's another reason.
Your love to hate
really
relationship
hate-
with Duo has just been.
No, Adara, it's like they're a little
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, I see.
It's not a good relationship there, Adara. It's very corrosive.
Corrosive? Get it.
All right, guys. EQ, go, EQ, go. We got another high a day to 234 high a day. We got 18s on an AQ. We're posted up at 36. We're waiting for that move. EQ, shout out to the OG Bovin. There's a seller at 34 of note. We're going to keep an eye out on that. I'm going to keep my eye out on that as well. Here we go, 35 showing up possibly. Now we're waiting at 36, so we're going to keep an eye out for EQ. Okay, so this will be the last peak water on EQ. Now, I'm also keeping my eye on OLMA. We got 777s now on OLMA. We're showing 84s, so we're stair-steading up on OLMA. It's a good look right now. We got shares on this one as well. So let's go ahead and wet the beak here and see if we can get something in the low 80s. It's been a love-hate relationship with OLMA, but hopefully it'll end well. So those are the three positions, guys. I feel comfortable with all three at the moment. None of them are very aggressive, but one that has been doing quite well, and I haven't mentioned, which is the one, I forget the name of the individual in the chat that pointed it out, IVVD. It has been a beauty. Look at this thing over here. Stair-stepping up. The volume profile is decent. It's dropped off a little bit in the last 5 minutes, but nonetheless, it is well away from the 10 EMA. It's got a flat top brewing here at $1.19. It's up 20%, a little shy of 20, and there's a flat top. And the reason I feel this is going to be a flat top break, you know what? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then there's that 119 seller that's been a pesky little bugger. We're going to keep an eye out on that. And I also want to mention CABA. Someone pointed this out to me in the chat. It's a little bit light on volume, but the trend is respectful. I think you could pick this up on dips. CABA is the other one. I haven't traded that personally. Back to DUO as it drops back down into 90. So I'm looking for continuation here through 4. And that's why I wasn't an immediate buyer at 4. We hadn't cleared it sufficiently enough. Adara, do you have to go?
Yeah, I do have to go.
All right, so sign off.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just going to say thank you guys so much for being here. I didn't get into Lulu and coin shorts. I'll probably keep you guys posted in the chat. If you ever have questions for me, tag me in the chat. I'm not always watching, but when I do, I respond. Thank you guys so much. It's always a treat to be back here. Thank you, Sharif.
And you're going to be on for the news very shortly.
Yeah, and I will be on for the news very shortly.
Yeah.
So great to be here. And I'll see you all on the flip. Always grateful for this opportunity. May the stocks be spready and may the trades be fruitful. And but not the small caps. May the small caps not be spready. Over to thanks, guys.
You,
see you back up.
Are we sending it to Neil's lesson of the day?
I don't think so. I think we're just sending it to OB
We're not
eventually.
doing? Okay, all right. So we're going to talk small caps here until the OB. He is the one. Canoe makes his way over. I'm continuing to watch right now DUO as it dances in the mid-80s. Now, here's the deal, guys. The 10 EMA, which has been an absolute money level on DUO, is showing 75s. So this could be a buy here. right? On DUO, we added initially at 70. We should be riding with the freaking trend right now on DU Dango. I should be adding in the low 80s. I missed it. Now we're in the high 80s and we're knocking the door of said 90. So we'll keep an eye on DUO and we'll make decisions if we want to add there. Keeping an eye on OLMA as well. And EQ, looks like we sold off a little aggressively there with a 35 high into EQ, dipping down. This current candle right now is a candle of indecision, a red candle. Nonetheless, the 1205 candle on the 5 is the one I'm talking about here on EQ. We've got 18, so I'll pack my patience on that bad boy. Nothing doing there. What are you guys watching? Buvin, tell me SMX breakout 160 to 165. Shout out to the OG Buvin. Let's bring in SMX and analyze said chart. All right, what do we got? It's okay, Buvin. It's not my favorite. It has a big move down from yesterday into that 210 area. There could be bag holders here. We've also got lower highs, Buvin, on the current trend intraday. And the volume profile is absolute bupkis. It's currently less than 50,000 shares per 5-minute candle, up 4 1/4. This ain't for me, Buvin, but it could break out above 165. You could see a squeeze, Buvin. I think if you do break above that implied balance high at early, I think that was 930, 930, 935, which is the high day, you could squeeze. But I just don't like the bag holding from here. You know, so it's not for me. Let me know though how it does, and if it starts breaking out, Buvin, you know, obviously tag me so that we can trade it. All right, DUO, 2-candle red setup. Now we're coming in. We're coming into the 10. This is the low 80s we were talking about. Do we add here? So how many more? Okay, so I'm going to add into the 10. Let's go ahead and add. We didn't get it. We didn't get it. So let's see if we dip down and get a better price, or we're going to have to chase it. We're going to have to chase it. I didn't think I got it there. So let's see if we dip down a little bit lower. Maybe there's a liquidity grab into the 80s. We're showing 81s now, 83. There we go. Now we got it. Good. So what's the move here? So are we taking out prior bar low? Prior bar low is actually 81.5. Current bar low, prior bar low is what? 380, and current bar low is 380 as well. So there is a buyer in and around 80. And now we've adjusted our cost base, and there we go into the mid 80s again, high 80s, excuse me. We're setting up there. Let's set up into the 90s. Double H showing up now on DUO. So let's see if we can get that nice pop up into the mid 90s again as the buying steps into the higher lows on DUO. But there is a seller of note here at 88. We can't shake them. I was going to make a CD Lamb joke, but I think I'm just going to leave that one alone. Especially since I'm wearing the Cowboys hat. But yeah, DUO, there's a seller at 88, but there's that same buyer, OB, at 80. OB's just setting up, so pack our patience. There's that same buyer at 80 again that stepped in. Now, it's a hidden order. There's really nothing posted on the level 2 to show you that big buyer stepping in at 80s, but you can see it on the tape. And you can see it in the price action as the price churns. Now, is that buyer going to be there forever and ever more? Unlikely. Is it more likely that the buyers supporting this 80 buyer step in and we overwhelm that 88 seller? Because that 88 seller is right there again. So here we go. Seller at 88. Can't shake them. Nothing posted. It's all iceberg. You get a little bit coming in on Memex, but that 88 unable to get shaken right now. Shaken, excuse me. Not stirred. Oh my goodness, that was bad. That was bad. Oh, that was bad. That was not your quality right there. We're going to keep an eye out on this one. Tell everybody what you're looking at.
Yeah, just logging in here. How's everybody doing? What's up? What's going on? It is the midday, and the market's taking a little bit of a recovery right now. So yeah, a little bit of a bounce. Is it the reversion? Is it the reversion of the reversion?
It's crazy.
Of the reversion? I don't know. Not yet. But I'm pretty sure I'm still in a little bit of the last breadcrumb of Google, just trailing it off here. But yeah, I think the trade was just I had the covers a little too early there, a little too aggressive into, what is that, 233 halves. Right there off of the open, had that flush all the way down to 232s, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to leave a little bit of a breadcrumb, and that is probably going to get stopped out if we get distinctly above 235. Just kind of having a breadcrumb in there. But I think the reversion of the reversion definitely came in here at that 233 break. I like this push right here. Now this chart is a little bit different than the other one here because it does not have the VWAP, but you can see the futures here pretty clearly as well. Nice little bounce off of 23,550. Literally, Sharif, this morning I was like, oh boy, this economic number is so strong. Just a couple days ago, we were at 23,500 on the Nasdaq, and we were kind of struggling. We were chopping around, and it seemed like a level of interest. But now we're pushing past 23,800. Guess what the market says?
What happened? Yeah,
the market says, guess what? You like that 23.5, Obi? We're gonna drop all the way down from 23.8 to 23.5 for another little bit of a test. And look at that 23.5 coming in again as a bit of support. So, fun stuff happening here. I'm going to pull up the chat so I can get in tune with what you guys are up to, what you guys are trading. Hopefully you guys caught a piece of that short in the general market, but I'm seeing that you caught a decent chunk of that long on Duo as well. So good job on that one.
I appreciate you.
Solid. Like that entry right there, dude. That first, I looked at your chart. I was like, that's absolutely beautiful. It was like that entry is the place to be because you know every single short is absolutely rocked above that price.
Absolutely.
And then look at that. It just explodes after that.
And then you just ride the trend after that.
You just ride
wait for the pullbacks.
Boom, boom, boom.
Spot areas of key support and resistance. Yeah. So it was a good trade on Duo. We'll give a little bit back there as we got in at 80s, got stopped out a little bit below 70 as there was a little slippage there, but there you go. Popping up off VWAP, defending that 360 area. That's the volume weighted average price, but that's the first time, guys, that it has lost the volume weighted average price since 1050 this morning. So be on the lookout here for more reversion. And we're also now on Duo below the 10 EMA on the 5, but I also have to monitor my trade now on EQ as this one has rejected 35s. Remember, we were rating at 36 and here it comes into the 10 and we're in at 18s. The nice thing is the 10 is at 17s. So we don't have to risk that much. If it loses a 10, it's the end of the trade for me. It's that simple. So we're gonna go ahead and move that. We're gonna go, since we got that, we'll give 15s. We'll give 15s right there. It'll give me a little bit of room below that on EQ, so we'll leave that bad boy there. Now that could have been a liquidity grab. That was a really nice pop right back into that $0.25 off that mid-dollar area. That mid-20 area. All right, so let's keep an eye out on that. OLMA is continuing to be good though. Back into 84s, we got 77s, but that seller at 85 has been a pesky little bugger. So that's what I'll keep my eye out on, guys. Let me know what you guys are trading. Tag myself or OB in the chat. And I also want to remind you, you guys have to get into the chat right now and get your votes in because we only have a little bit of time left before we do the afternoon rundown at around 2:30. Open right now is absolutely destroying everything else. Orders of magnitude ahead of PAPL. Not orders of magnitude, but it's a lot more. So get into the chat right now, guys. Throw in that $sign. Whatever ticker your heart so desires. If you like these small cap gappers, throw that in there. If you're more of a big tech guy, maybe chips, you like that AVGO. AVGO has been doing well on this one. Throw that in there. Vote every day, guys, because it gives us the right focus for you when we do the afternoon rundown. We want to know what you guys want to talk about. We already know what we want. So Obi's been trading his stuff. Adaira's doing her thing. We want to know what you guys want to look at. We'll throw that on there every day, Obi.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sharif. Yeah, no, you guys gotta. There's no other way we know what you guys want as a collective, and I think this is great. I think was it Fabian that came up with it. We call it the leader. I had a name for it. The leaderboard. It was a leaderboard, but it's visualizer. Ticker visualizer. So yeah. So as you guys visualize your trades, someone tripped back there. Hope she's okay. Visualize your trades and manifest them as text into the chat so we can also visualize your visualizations and, realize.
What's going on over there?
Realize.
Oh.
I just had to say that. I don't know why. But,
I want to point out one thing.
What's up?
So HOUR, guys, we were loving this one earlier. Get it, Adaira. We're really loving HOUR to the long side. But, this is what I want to talk about when we talk about a flat bottom break. Because you know my love for calling out flat bottoms. There's no room in this world.
I don't really look for those, but you know what I mean.
So the flat bottom break there, Ob. HOUR is setting up for a classic flat bottom break through 4. It's a series, guys. I don't short these small cap gappers. Doesn't mean we can't, but I have a rule back in 23 when I was shorting small cap gappers because they just didn't have it to the long side. I would look for this pattern. I would look for lower high, lower high, lower high for that same area of support, 4-ish, 390-ish, whatever it is. It's accumulating at that 4 for a disastrous break. not just below 4, but through the volume weighted average price. And that's why I like it, because it's that psychological support, and technical support as well. VWAP, Ob, is what I'm talking about. Tell them.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
you got the eye?
So guys, exciting news for Canadian sophisticated traders. Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just launched 6 new triple leverage ETFs, offering 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P, TSX 60, semiconductors, and US Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st of 2025. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek to neutralize US dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying US equity indices. If you are a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more.
Oh, I just got to interrupt because there's another small cap gapper that's weaseled onto the scene, and it's very aggressive and it's new. It started out at 11:30, but the breakout now coming above VWAP, I want to say, maybe around 12. So we're 20 minutes deep. You guys have been putting this in the chat, and I'm sorry, it's just so hard to kind of follow all of them and trade your own book at the same time. But Gels is looking fantastic. Oh, yeah. It's 76%. The breakout's fast and furious. We're doing volume, about 13 million shares, and that's only having traded, really, everything else was insignificant since 11:30 onwards. So the volume's been coming in fast and furious since about 11:30, which puts it about 50 minutes deep, obviously. Shout out to Gotham House, who's in at $1.18, 2,000 freaking units. My man, get it? I want you to absolutely print up a storm on that. So we're going to cheer for you, my man, and hope you print up multiple storms on your side of the screen there. So here we go. We're doing it freaking live. Let's see if we can take out that 81 seller. It's an 83 print right now. Sorry. An 81 high right now on GELS. Let's keep an eye on the higher highs and higher lows. But we know that this one has a tendency to give some back, right? Because look at the previous candle on the 5. It's technically a doji candle because it has an equidistant upper and lower body. So we get the 75 print. We got 75s. We just got the 80 print right now. It's an 81 high now. Let's set up a little bit more here, maybe at 88. Shout out to my man. We're going to give him another chance. Shout out to CD Lamb. An 80 seller coming in again. 81s now, Ob. Can we get a little bit higher? It's 82s, and there's the squeeze, Ob, into the high of the day. And there's 87 now. We're watching for 88s. We're posted up at 88, but there's a staunchy. Boom, Ob, into the high. It's a 190 high now. Good move here on GELS. Good squeeze. Watch out for the resistance at 2, and a liquidity grab back down, possibly low 90s, mid 80s. Keep your eye on this one. It is doing volume up.
Yes, sir. So you got to let that one gel a little bit. It's just fresh. It's just coming in. But yeah, a lot of these small cap runners absolutely crazy. Did you hear about the Nasdaq kind of coming down on some of these Chinese tickers as well?
Yes,
absolutely. I mean, I think it's great news. Sure, they might take away some opportunity from astute traders, but that's a little different. But here's the thing, man. The market's always changing. Opportunity leaves one arena, it'll enter a different arena. The edge is almost always there, especially in equity markets. Definitely not as efficient as you might think. Definitely nowhere close to as efficient as Forex markets or anything like that. I don't even know how people trade those every day. That's a little wild, but or futures markets to say the least. But inefficiencies galore when it comes to equity markets for sure. And yeah, it's I think inefficiency is just going to move around. It's always market's always changing. The way the certain trades or certain kind of instances or patterns or broken slot machines, things that keep on happening in the market, those change over time, right? And then you have to be able to like move around as well. So small caps are absolutely beautiful. But here's the thing, that's happening, but we also have the PTD restriction coming off as well.
Yes, we do.
Right? So pattern day trading rule is going to be not really there anymore. $2,000 minimum, I think that's what they're looking at instead of $25K. So that's going to bring in more people into the market. So I'm excited. I'm excited for times that are coming in. Certain things may bring in volume to small caps. Some things may take out volume to small caps. But yeah, those pump and dumps,
Look,
pretty crazy. I've been on the wrong side of those.
They were like sub 1 million float.
Yeah, I've been on the wrong side of those, so I know like how painful they can be.
It was obviously an organized trade. It was, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to be libelous against anybody, but it seemed pretty scripted.
That kind of stuff happens all throughout the market, whether you like it or not. There's always like fugazi things that are happening. There's people who trade in what are they called? They're like boiler rooms and like teams and squads of traders. And you have to remember, as many rules and regulations that are around this game.
Yeah.
This is still a PvP game. If the mechanics exist, if the mechanics to do something exist, they will be exploited, and they should be. It's part of the game.
All right, but guess what? Exciting news. Oh, sorry. Every trader knows that if you want to grow, you have to risk more. At least that's kind of how it used to be. Trade the Pool is changing all of that. It's the new revolution in stock trading, baby. You don't need a large deposit. Trade the Pool is built for any trader who wants to grow without putting everything on the line. Just small skin in the game, and you're trading with real capital. And here's how it works. You pay a one-time evaluation fee starting at just $47. That's your total risk. From there, you trade real shares, not these CFDs, using company capital only. So head on over to Trade the Pool or scan that QR code on the screen to find out more. Oh, so I've got a lot to say here, and I want to get right down to it. So I told you guys this was going to manifest on hour. It's just a matter of time. There's the flat bottom break, and you got a lot of money out of that. If you set up at 420, 410, you just got to move into 3.5. Shout out to my man, Mike P.D. Ryder.
Yeah, he said you took it.
He did.
Yeah.
This is a classic flat bottom break OB. Yep. It's yelling at you in any event. You know, I didn't trade it, obviously, to the downside. I tried to stay long only on these, but their opportunity was there. HOUR is losing VWAP. Be careful with that, though. We're doing it freaking live, though, Adara, on OLMA. We just took out 8. Now it's an 804 high. We've got 777s on. We're still holding some shares. We're going to let this one ride. So OLMA is doing its thing 25, and we're going to keep an eye out on Duo as well, just before we send it to Adara, because Duo is finding a lot of support at the volume-weighted average price. It's putting wicks into that level, and now it is looking to possibly curl. Look for that move above 3 mid-80s. Adara.
Here at RCAT and some of these other drone stocks, I'll look at UAVS here as well. I know they're kind of in that space. I guess I can't pull up the ticker, but either way, keep an eye on these names. Apparently there's a filing. I'm seeing reports of a filing from the Trump administration. They're planning on ruling to target imports of Chinese drones and heavy-duty vehicles. So some of these American drone companies pushing to the upside again. Trump reportedly set to, I guess, target, or the Trump administration set to target these imports of Chinese drones and heavy-duty vehicles. And back to you.
And I'd look, Joby's doing nothing, is Archer
That's
doing...
more eVTOL, right?
Yeah, I know, but like they do both a little bit, yeah. No, they're not doing anything, so I think Adara's absolutely right. They're not doing anything there. All right, so that's what I'm keeping my eye on. So I'm interested in getting back into Duo. Duo's price action has really slowed down, though. So I think I may have some time to make that decision. Also, I'm definitely keeping an eye on GELS. I'm interested in getting back into that, but we've got top wick for now, and it is kind of dropping back down a little bit. What I'm looking for here on GELS, can it hold prior bar low? Prior bar low on GELS is 165, and here we go. We're 170, 171. The selling's coming in. Do we hold the trend and continue with the higher highs and higher lows? That's what I'll be looking at. That's really what it comes down to. On that one. Also, last one before we send it back to EQ. This is at VWAP now. It's got a 5-candle red setup. It's giving back a little bit, so this is kind of a bull flag. Let's see, though, if we find support at 215. That's where volume-weighted average price is. We definitely need some higher highs and higher lows. So we got to break above and hold above prior bar high, which is 27. So these are obviously changing levels and evolving levels, guys, right? Because... right, what we're looking at there is current bar versus prior bar. All right, I'm getting back into GELS. I like the fact that it held prior bar low. We got 81s on. We're showing 85s now. There's a seller at 85. Let's take out some there. Now we're going to set up at 90s, and we're going to set up a little bit higher. Here's that 85 seller again. Don't forget there was an 88 seller there that we couldn't shake. So let's look for that same 88 seller. We're selling at 85 this time. He got shaken, 87. 88 now. There's the same pesky 88 seller showing up again. We can't shake him, so we're going to have to keep an eye out on that same position. position. I knew it. Like, you just have to expect these things that, whether the algo or an individual setting up at that level, they like it, and they're likely going to do it again. And that's shown to be the case here, OB. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on here. I'm looking for that continuity through $2 on GELS.
Sure. I'm kind of just watching the market here, Sharif, as we do kind of come in and start consolidating. I'm watching Google. Somebody in the chat was like, Google back to all-time highs. I'm like, okay, all right, we'll see. That 235 coming in as of right now as well. So remember, we're still technically lower than prior high a day here. Let's just quickly take a look at the chart, pull it up. Again, gonna keep it tight. It is still a little bit early to really say anything here. We're still well within the uptrend. We're pushing and knocking on the door of 235. High day is 235.76, as we know that Google has been pushing up all-time highs pretty much every single day. So should we really be fighting the bid on a day-to-day basis? Not really. The reversion did come in, and selling came in absolutely beautifully from 235.70s all the way down to 232s, but couldn't really get past that 232s with any sort of distinction. Day low sitting at 231.89 as of right now, as the market picks up and bids off of that 23.5. So yeah, a little bit of a pop back in. Let's see if we can hold in and around this 235 area. I'm still waiting and watching. I still want to have a lot more on this trade, but if it's not going to give it to me, that's perfectly fine. The initial short was definitely that was the trade to be in, not just on Google but across the board, man. We saw that Apple pretty much reverted 100% of its action after a choppy morning, but sellers are still very dominant on Apple. You can see. Distinctly different is Google right now relative to its friends in the Mag 7, as it's the only one that is close to its not all-time highs. Well, yeah, all-time highs, but also day highs as well. You can see that Softy aggressively selling off, man. Oh boy, that 511. Oh, I gotta keep that a little bit on watch there. 512s. Coming in as a strong wick. Sellers coming right in and breaking us through that 500 once again. We saw a little ping of it last week. Was this last week or no? This was this week on Tuesday. Yeah, we saw a little 500 ping on Tuesday off of the open on the Softy, man. And this thing just absolute beast on this one. When you take a look at the weekly chart on Microsoft, this thing has been so crazy and so aggressive to the upside, and we finally started to get a little bit of a breather. Remember, Sharif, I was talking about the flat bottom break of that $520 level on Softy. Do you remember seeing this one? Take a look at this.
Of course, you've been talking about that for a while.
So yeah, for a couple of weeks. You can see this consolidation right here. Boom, 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 over and over again. 519s, 520s, whatever, give or take a point. But once that breaks down, oh boy, we're poised for a little bit more selling. And yeah, that 500 comes in just a couple weeks later. That was in August. Most of that consolidation happened, or those lows were formed in August, and coming into the end of August, we break down there. Nice little continuation off of the earnings pop and drop, exhaustion, capitulation, whatever you want to call it. That was the kind of action that happened off of the earnings, and we're seeing a beautiful follow through of that action here on Softy. But the market don't care, man. The ES is at all-time highs. The SPY all-time highs, and then Nasdaq as well, pretty near there alongside it. So Softy taking a bit of a breather after multiple weeks.
All right.
This thing, I love my swing shorts. This thing has been an absolute beautiful swing short.
That's what I want to hear, Ob. Good vibes, man. I love it. You don't talk to me often about your swings. That's I think
no, because I don't really.
I know you don't talk about that. You like to keep your.
Swings.
I tell people I don't like to pound the table on my winners. I just don't need that kind of. Yeah. Anyway, I'm watching here GELS, guys, because we're in like 4 positions again. There's a lot going on in small cap gapper world. So GELS is taking out highs. It's got 93s. We're knocking on the door here, 91, 93-ish area. So I'm really watching intently for a $2 touch. I'm setting up at 98s. Here's 92s again. So we're 1 penny away. Look at the amount of shares that are just churning there on the time and sales. Very aggressive, but it is very kind of wicky. It doesn't spend all that much time near the highs, and you can just see that based on the prior candles. What I'm basing my trade on GELS is prior bar low. It keeps the trade tight. I don't give too much back once you take the prints. Obviously, it's a bit of more of a conservative strategy, but it works for some, not for all. So keeping an eye there, looking for that move into 2. I'm setting up in front of 2, looking to wet the beak at 98. So that's the first one. And OLMA just continues to trend. 805 now, showing the high there. So I'm keeping my eye on that. And then I'm also keeping my eye on DUO. I'm into DUO over here at 380s. What was my price on DUO? Give me a second. 384s. So this one did break, and I'm going to base my trade again on DUO on prior bar. So I will keep this trade tight. So prior bar low on DUO takes us down to 70. So I've got my 69 level there. So we still haven't opened that other candle. So I'm keeping my eye on that. There goes unbelievable. OMA into 813. 812s now. We've got 77s on. This one's continuing to trend higher. Watch for the reversion possibly as we get in close and hold above that 8. So OLMA continues to trend to the high side. And last but not least, guys, I just want to keep my eye on EQ as well. I worked my way back into this one. I've got, this one kind of bamboozling a little bit. It's got a couple of great hammer candles off VWAP and then a 5-minute candle to make a new high. And there's no continuation into the third of a dollar. We've got on EQ, we've got 27s on. It's showing me 27s right now on the ask, but on the bid, we've got 84s. So I'm keeping my eye out on that. I'm going to base my out there on prior bar low as well. So nothing changes with respect to strategy. Keeping my eye on GLS, looking for that break. Well, OLMA, nothing changes, guys. In all 4 of these trades, trying to monitor them all at the same time. Bit of a tough one there, Obe.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to kind of, take care of a bunch of trades at once. I know there are guys on the floor who trade like 10, 15 stocks at the same time, and I have no idea how that's how they're capable of doing it, but they do it well. So kudos to traders with that kind of I guess a bandwidth. But the thing is, like, I like my 2 or 3 stocks, man. I'm just like, if I'm gonna.
I feel that.
If I'm gonna put, it was funny. It was recently in our Discord. There was a funny thing going around. I think it was a basketball player. Might have been Kobe or not Kobe or somebody who said it.
Sports info is just unmatched, though.
Yeah, my sports info is absolutely peak performance. No, but somebody was like,
Go sports.
Thank you. So I think the quote was something like, "Oh, who the hell told you to put all your eggs in that you can't put all your eggs in one basket? You can always buy some more eggs." I forget which player it was, but it's like when you know something, you have strong conviction of something.
Okay.
For example, I had strong conviction with AVGO. If you know what you're doing and you have everything to back it up, why the hell would you not put every single egg in that basket? You can always buy more eggs.
It was Kobe. You were correct.
It was Kobe? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, there you go. So it's some of these sayings are very, very interesting, and I feel like people don't think twice, and they just say things because they're said. It's like, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
But
sure.
If you said that to I guess Warren Buffett, he would laugh at you. He would be like, his perspective on diversification.
Absolutely.
He's just like, if you know what you're doing, diversification is not for you.
And like I have a buddy, I talk about him all the time, Alfred. He just lives and breathes about how Warren Buffett operates. He likes to be value, very much driven like that as well. And that's his thing, man. He didn't diversify. I keep saying the story because it's something that I laud him for. He did inherit a whole bunch of gold from his old man. He sold all of it, cashed it out, and it all went into Tesla.
Okay, all right, okay. 19, nice. That's a great trade. I was going to be like, oh boy, gold's all-time highs, but if you traded in for Tesla, percentage-wise, Tesla did so much.
He didn't diversify at all.
Yeah,
it was very concentrated.
One of my buddies, like we were talking about Tesla, like one of my buddies from undergrad, he only talked about Tesla, and Tesla was, I don't know what the price of Tesla was, but he only ever talked about Tesla. His first car ever was a Tesla, and he's been rolling leaps for the past 5 to 7 years, I think.
I love it.
Just rolling them.
I love it.
Every year. Boom, boom, boom. He has equities as well. He does all sorts of long types of trading on Tesla, and he also sells covered calls. So, it is what it is. Anyways, what's up, Adara?
What's not up here is Uber dropping. I couldn't find any news on this. This is a bit of a volume spike here for Uber. I did check Waymo's X to see if they posted anything, because sometimes Waymo will post things and Uber will move. Waymo hasn't posted anything. So if I see any news on this, I'll let you know. But UBER, for those who were wondering why there is this move, I don't have any news on it yet, but there is volume with it. Be aware. Back to you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you for that, Adara. We're going to start the news, guys, in about 10 minutes or so. I'm seeing you guys yelling about INHD. I see it. Let's bring it in. Let's talk about it. It's not a bad look. It's a bit more expensive, but the breakout is real. It's fast and furious right now, and we're above yesterday's high, most notably, or we got above, yesterday's high. We're breaking down below it now. We're still above the 10 EMA and the 5. I'm talking about INHD. The 10 EMA is around 10.5, and 10.5 is a breakout level. So that could be tested again. If this comes into 10.5, that could be a buy. I don't know if I'm going to jump into that super quick, but we'll keep an eye out on it. But Duo is breaking out again. And here we go on Duo. Shout out to Duo. What do we got on Duo, man? We got 83s on. We just wet the beak there at 90. Now we're curling back up for an attempt at 4. I'm waiting in the mid-90s, as you can see, at 94s, but it probably behooves me as well to wait. How many shares do we have? Ahead of 4, so I'm going to wait, above 4. So we'll wait at 402 as well to see if we can get that price spike off that level. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Duo, we just got a nice little breakout, but it's nothing really to write home about. We'll see if we can kind of continue trend, but it's really been the best trade for me has been OLMA. It's been very trendy, very strong. And then I got back into GELS over here. What do we have on GELS? We've got, we've got 82, show me 77. So we're out of the money on this position, but we're above the 10 EMA and VWAP. That is around 66. So 166 is the volume weighted average price on GELS. EQ, I don't know if I like this trade here. It looks like it might lose 20s. So I'm going to move up my stop on EQ. We're going to go 18s. This loses 18s. It's going to be the end of the trade on EQ. There we go. We'll cancel that bad boy. Got to go back, though, to GLS because it's at a key technical area here. If it loses this area, it's all over from this trade. So we're going to punch in here. Doesn't let me in, bro. Come on. All right, let's see if we can get it. Let's see if we can get it. All right, this is a good technical area to get in at. We're going to give it to prior bar low, OB. Prior bar low will take us into 66. So we will have to defend that level. Give it to that, and then we'll drop all the way down here. On GELS, GELS gives us that many, so we're good to go there. What do we have on GELS? We've got 78s, so we got to set up some beak wetters here into 80s as well as into 82s. So let's see if we can get that pop up. We're still holding above key technical areas, but don't want to overstay my welcome on this one, then have it drop and give back some. So that's not the move. Those are going to keep my eye on. I want to mention that INHD is coming into 10.5. This might be the buying area here, but it's losing it. It's into 1030s. It looks like an upside down V retracement. INHD is losing the 10 EMA on the 5. So be on the lookout for that if you're trading INHD. I'm out, I'm not involved. We're going to Adara.
Maybe a little too small cap, Sharif, for what we're looking at. This is a 14-cent ticker breaking out here. This is Nubaru, B-U-R-U on the 15-minute chart. They just announced on their X, and when I say just, I mean about a minute ago, they announced that apparently their Nubaru defense is now officially established and taking the lead on their U.S. joint venture. They're going to be driving the phased acquisition towards a controlling interest in Techne Group. So BURU on watch, apparently established and taking the lead on their joint U.S. venture. Back to you.
Thank you, Adira. Nice pop-up on GELS. We just went the beak there aggressively into the mid-80s, so we're going to keep an eye on that GELS trade right now. Got 77s on. Looking for more, though, as this one pops up and defends key levels. But I think the Duo trade might be doomed over here, okay? So it might be taken prior bar low, and it's preceded by a topping tail candle, which looks quite ugly. So on Duo, we've got 83s on at the moment. I'm going to give this to 69, okay? I'm just going to, yeah, this one is losing it. It's losing it. So that's, you win some, you lose some. We're going to keep an eye on GELS, though. Oh, that one looks like it might be breaking out, so I'm packing my patience there.
Yeah, definitely. Those things are going crazy, man. I'm reading the chat here. I think I forget who it was. Somebody was asking me specifically about support levels on Tesla. I think it was Parth asking thought on Tesla support levels right now. Sure, we can take a look at what the chart has shown us support has been on the day. So let's just go through that right now. And this is just listening to the chart. Where has the chart shown buyers to be on the day, and then we can just mark some of those levels off and see how they've come into play. Right off the bat, you can see that buyers coming in off of this spike in the pre-market. I don't know if Tesla had news this morning in the pre-market session, but it definitely had a strong spike around 6:30. So don't know what it was. Regardless of the news, again, that's not necessarily. It might give you some conviction on the trade itself. But you can see the buyers came in off of this level here, and anchored VWAP is a good kind of indicator to use to see who's necessarily in charge from a given event. So if price is kind of above that, it's as similar as VWAP as prices. If price is above the anchored VWAP, buyers are kind of in charge. The average price is sitting lower than the current traded price, and if it's trading lower, then sellers are in charge because the current traded price is sitting lower than VWAP. Coming in off of the open, you can see that's where buyers were initially. We kind of chopped it around. Buyers came back in, and then right off the open, the tests of anchored VWAP show you strong buying right off of the open. So the question becomes, support levels that were there in the morning, I'm going to mark this off right here. I guess, just kind of just general area in and around here. You can see that the buyers kind of start to step up pretty aggressively. So I'm going to start off with the first 3-minute candle right there. That's green. That's some support I'm seeing there. Support obviously at the low of day as well. So these are all these red horizontal lines that I'm drawing in. Let's take off that anchored VWAP now as well, just to clean it up a little bit. And then pre-market supports as well. It's telling you every time it wicks into the 344s,
Crazy.
Buying. Every time in 344s hits, since this pre-market session, there's been strong buying. We come down into 345s, there's been a little bit of buying as well. So those are all the support levels I'm seeing currently on Tesla intraday. Now I'm sure there are other higher time frame support levels that are coming in. You can see these anchored VWAPs. I think they come in a little bit better on a 15-minute. You can see those coming in as well off of some events, but we are kind of breaking out. You can see that support in the morning as well. This is the beautiful thing that I love about support and resistance is that once it's done being support, it's not over. It can still hold significance as resistance. That was support. That's where buyers came in off of the open, and that became into resistance later on in the trading session underneath that 350 mark. I really like that kind of support turned into resistance on Tesla. Sure, it doesn't take it all the way back down to the lows, but it does give you small scalps from that level that turned into resistance as well. So
all right.
That's my look on Tesla support levels on the day today.
14 years, 0 hacks, 0 excuses. BTCC.com delivers what others don't. Trade Bitcoin up to 500x, even Tesla, gold, and Forex. With smart copy trading, you don't just watch the pros, you trade like them. Regulated in the USA, Canada, and Europe. Trusted by 6.8 million traders. Trader TV Live exclusive. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description box for a 15% deposit bonus. BTCC.com, where pros trade, and so you can now as well. Shout out to BTCC. All right, guys, here's the deal. I got a lot to update on before we start the news. We just took it out there. OB, you're very much near the high at 830 on OLMA. This has been a very strong stock on the day, and I'm happy with how this one's been trading. It's been very program buying-esque, very consistently higher highs and higher lows. Keep tabs on that. I'm also quite pleased here with GELS. We're doing it freaking live. We got 74s on right now. It's taking out 95s. It's knocking on the door too. The door was shut before, but guess what? Randy is here, baby. So he's going to open up that door. Shout out to Jerome. Can't shut it forever, baby. No, remember when Randy opened up the side doors and then all the bugs came in, obviously, right? We're joking about that.
I remember when Jerome was like, shut the door.
Well, there was a little bit of both. Yeah. So here we go, OB 95 again here on GELS. So looking for that $2 break and take. We've got nice amount here. We can wait. We can take some more out north of 2 and continue to go. So we haven't exhausted our shares here on GELS. GELS is the ticker, guys. It's doing its thing. 25, 97 seller now. 96, 97 again. We'll keep tabs on this one, looking for that squeeze through too. Look at the amount of churning of the shares, though. I also want to shout out to Bob the dog, man. I did miss your super chat. I'm really sorry about that, Bob. Dropping $5 Canadian in the chat. I stayed in there for a good time, not a long time. I will repeat tonight with my spready stock at home. Oh my God, Bob, you killing me, bro. But you know what else is not killing me? Sorry, I can't even say the ticker, bro. That's how tired I am from yesterday.
Gels. What'd
Don't
you
do
do
drugs,
yesterday?
Obe. I'm playing. GELS.
Yeah, do all the good drugs. I mean,
playing,
when I'm like feeling pain, I use some good drugs, Tylenol, acetaminophen.
Bringing it back proper here. And I'm playing, of course, guys. GELS continuing to go, guys, through to the high of the day now is 202. So we're going to keep tabs on this one. Definitely looking for continuity on my friend GELS to the high side. We're also involved in duo. Let's not forget about that. Where is my duo trade? Over here. Let's have a look. Still very much consolidative. It's not losing the levels. There are buyers in the low 70s, high 60s. So that's what's keeping me involved here in duo. I want to look like the kind. Check, you don't look like yeah, bro. It's not at all. That's just not my jam at all whatsoever. Just exaggerating for effect, obviously. So DUO is what I'm looking for the next move there above 4 OB. If we get that print above 4, we're going to wait for a high of daybreak, and that's not the high of day on duo. It's not 4, it's 414. So that's what I'm looking there. We're going to whip the beak above 4, and then we're going to wait for a move above that $4 area. But wow, OLMA right back into the highs, OB into 834. OLMA's got the goods, baby. It's got a lot of goods to the high side today. It's basically a buy program off the 10 EMA on the 5, and I haven't seen anything breach it in the entire day. One quick one here before we send it to Adara to start the news. EQ, we got into this one for a second trade. We gave some back there. Are we negative on it? Barely negative. The answer to that is yes, we are negatory on it, but very, very, very lightly. And nothing really that's affecting anything all that much. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on right now. But I'm seeing my friend Duo get back into 80s, and I'm hoping it can squeeze into 4. Adara, what do you got? What's our first topic of the day? I didn't do the news. You obviously have a lot more of a read on things today. Let's hear the first topic. When you're ready, SSC.
Hello. Yeah, we're going to go straight off the watch list here. That's just what's going to happen. So let's talk here about Broadcom to start things off. Broadcom right now rejecting that 340 level again to get technical for a second, but let's get fundamental and talk about these numbers. They did report Q3 adjusted earnings of $1.69 per share versus $1.65 expected. Sales about $15.95 billion, just under that $16 billion mark. Also nicely above estimates here, $15.83 billion. They guided Q4 sales better than expected, $17.4 billion versus $17.02 billion expected. Their total revenue up 22% year over year. AI revenue up 62% year over year. But here's I think the real reason they're up the way they are, because this actually, I mean, obviously we gapped up, but we did, as you guys can see, oscillated a bit initially after the numbers. Well, during the conference call, an executive at the company apparently said that their consolidated backlog hit a record of over $110 billion. They are expecting the outlook for fiscal 2026 AI revenue to improve significantly. And they also indicated that, quote, one prospective customer has secured a deal with them valued over $10 billion for AI racks. Well, then Financial Times reported a couple hours after this that that unnamed customer was OpenAI. So that's the deal there with Broadcom, and I'll send it over to you guys.
My first thought of offhand is basically what kind specifically of these chips is OpenAI buying from Broadcom? Like, we obviously know they're involved in advanced AI semiconductors, but they don't just make GPUs in the way that NVIDIA makes them. So I'd like to see exactly what OpenAI is buying from them, like the specific product. So that's my first area of thinking there. And then I heard a lot of people yesterday talk about the earnings report and how the company's super expensive. And even though obviously it's been a play for some time as an NVIDIA alternative, I mean, for a few years. So every time people say it's expensive, it just makes like another leg up. So is it, where's the PE at right now? The PE, it's not forward. The actual PE is almost 78.69, right? Which is obviously a lot higher than the industry standard. The industry standard for chips and semiconductors is about 34 3/4. So generally, a little bit higher. More than double. Yeah, more than double. So I don't know how you feel about the technicals there, but AVGO has just been one of those ones where every time you think it's extended, it's expensive, it just takes another leg up.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's been trending pretty nicely here. Absolutely beautiful move on the day today, and I think that's the key part of the move that happens today, or that happened today. That it's already been trending up. So on a day of earnings where it gaps up over 10, 15%, you got to ask yourself, are people going to be taking profits? Let's take a look at where this thing has been coming from, right? It's like, okay, let's just go straight up to a weekly chart, and we know these are all-time highs. Take a look at this bid, right? This is the April bid. So since April, let's just go from the lows of April to the high of today, 157%.
Jesus.
Right? And then just in the pre-market today, it's already up 10, 15% off of the open. So the question becomes, if you were long anywhere here and you get this euphoric move in the pre-market session off of a strong earnings catalyst as well, like, are you taking some profits? Maybe, sure. But the question becomes, if you are really convicted of that, you want to be looking for sellers coming in off of the open.
Right.
And that's exactly what's been happening, right? Sure, people are going to be like, oh, AVGO had such great earnings. Right. They have a partner that's very, they have a very big partner, whatever. But here's the thing. Technically, it's all priced in because people have already been long since April, or maybe even longer. There's been consistent buyers since April. So when you get that kind of like a blow-off top in the pre-market session and then coming in off of the open as well, you really have to start looking at, is this thing poised for a little bit of a breather back down to the downside, because we are a little extended to the upside. But that 350 could be interesting. But like you said, people keep on talking about how it's overextended, and does another leg higher. So that's just another sign of strength. I'm looking for price to be accepted a little bit higher, or to take us in line with that trend. Now, taking a look at a higher time frame, you can see here we've been pretty extended just off of the general trend that we've been having.
Right.
You have this slow, nice and gradual higher highs, higher lows, and then boom, pop right into 350. So yeah, that is a little aggressive in my opinion.
Here's what I'm saying. So OpenAI, so this is the article, it's from today. So OpenAI is apparently buying custom designed AI accelerator chips from Broadcom. It's a $10 billion exclusive partnership aiming to launch its first proprietary chips in 26. So it looks like OpenAI is having custom-made silicone. So like the way that Apple does, they make their M1 chips and they have Taiwan Semi or whoever else make them. So OpenAI will use these chips for its internal infrastructure, supporting its expanding compute needs for large-scale AI models. What else? The chips are also co-designed by OpenAI and Broadcom, representing OpenAI's first move into in-house custom silicon. So it's exactly as we thought, reducing reliance on NVIDIA's GPUs in the same way that Apple was reducing its reliance on Intel and Qualcomm now with its C1 chip for their modem, and then obviously the M series chips, which replaced Intel. So interesting move. I think companies generally want to be vertically integrated, Adara, where you have the entire supply chain from beginning to end so that you can cut out the middleman and the margins go to you. So I kind of like this deal, Adara, and it goes to a company that's booming right now.
Makes sense. I think one thing too is OpenAI. We know yesterday during the Trump dinner, we had Sam Altman saying that the company is going to be investing significant amounts of money into the U.S. So, I mean, yeah, I guess OpenAI definitely trying to spend some coin in general is what I'm trying to say there. I'll transition over to Lululemon, which doing the opposite reaction of Broadcom. Lululemon gapped down and then pushed up at the open. Broadcom gapped up, pushed lower. But this Lulu report is distinctly worse than what we saw with Broadcom. Q2 earnings here, $3.10 per share versus $2.90 expected. Sales, $2.52 million, though missing estimates of $2.538 billion. So EPS beat, sales miss, and their guidance is subpar, to put it mildly. So they guided Q3 GAAP earnings between 218 and 223. Well below estimates of 294. Sales, they're guiding also below estimates, 2.47 billion versus 2.5 billion. 2.47 to 2.5 billion. That's the range, below estimates of 2.568 billion. They also lowered their guidance here for the fiscal year for both GAAP EPS and sales. So their new EPS guide, 12.77 to 12.97 versus 14.52 was the estimate. So well below estimates here. They went from above estimates to below estimates, and sharply below estimates with this guidance redux, I guess. Then they also lowered their fiscal 2025 sales guidance. They're now expecting sales between 10.85 billion and 11 billion for the fiscal year. Analysts were looking for 11.183 billion. Now, the other aspect of the guidance is the tariff talk. So they're saying here, basically, I guess they guided about $320 million of gross margin impact. Gross or adjusted, I'll make sure I know the margin here. But that number is definitely $320 million. That's going to be operating margin, in fiscal 2026. So they're even guiding tariff impacts into 26. They also attributed this impact in part to the removal of the de minimis exception. So it's interesting. We heard a lot about the de minimis rule with regards to Chinese companies. We haven't heard about it a lot with something like Lulu, but I think that is a pretty interesting look. Really quickly, too, before I send it over to you guys, I will mention revenue up 7% year over year. Comparable sales up only 1% year over year. Inventories up 21% year over year. This is not a company I shop at very much. I have a friend who works there. He speaks very highly of it. Apparently, they treat their employees well. Apparently, it's a good work experience. But yeah, the stock right now maybe not working so well.
That's what I was going to ask you that. Like, I mean, just in your opinion, I don't know if you shop there all that much or if you interact with the company. Yep. I mean, I still see the store's pretty packed. My sample size is small. It's typically like Yorkdale and Fairview and these type of stores, which are just busy malls to begin with, Ob. So that could be that. But I also, I was always a little annoyed by their color selection. They were always like these kind of,
kind of bland.
Yeah, a little bit. Apparently, they've tried to change that and bring in newer colors to attract younger users. But I think generally they're just they're not in step with the younger generation. I think I see a lot of the younger kids at the gym. They're Aloe and Gymshark and some other online brands, and it's not as much as I would say the millennials, the older, the 30s and 40s, that really like Lulu, because Lulu was like big, you'd say in the 2010s, right?
Yeah. It was. I remember when they first came out, everyone was going crazy about the Lululemon pants, and I was like, shout out to the creator of that. But
I have a couple of Lulu things. I mean, I have too many.
I was talking to Neil.
They're good shorts.
I was looking at a couple of shoes from them. Recently, I like the way that they were looking. I don't know, I have yet to try them on or even get a feel for them, but I know that they have a decent, like a strong consumer base.
Yeah.
I have two younger sisters, and
do they like it?
I don't know if they frequent it, but they speak well about Lulu. They say that things are very comfortable, so I'm like, all right, cool. And they do. I found this out recently, I think sometime last year, that they have men's selection as well.
No, they've always had men.
I'm sure they've always had it, but like I've always thought.
The women's section is way bigger.
Oh, of course.
Exponentially.
Like a lot of stores.
Yeah. Again, bro, high quality product, Ob. Like I got 5-6 different shorts all at one time, just different colors. This was back in 2018. Dude, there is not one thread that's running on those bad boys. Yeah. They're amazing quality. I have nothing bad to say about the quality, but that's not good enough, man. The market needs more, and I don't know exactly what. Maybe they need a bigger social media push. But to me, it's the company's out of touch at the moment. We'll have to wait and see exactly what that entails. Let's look at some TA though. Let's look at some technicals on Lulu.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at those as well. I mean, in the morning I was like, okay, she's looking real nice, just running down the hill, very, very tight, beautiful consolidation. And guess what?
What?
Once she's done running, all the participants are in a hurry to get long right off of the open. Absolutely crazy. Beautiful trend break reversion all the way into VWAP. Oh boy. I'm telling you, this one was definitely one of the top names, and I did not participate in it. And I was looking at this pretty closely, and I was like, okay, well, it's very peculiar, the tight run that this is having all the way down. When it's done, I want to be there. I want to know what happens. And guess what? That action was absolutely explosive to the upside right off of the open. So beautiful reversion on Lulu coming in. I don't know if it was SSR. Let me just check real quickly here as well. Was it SSR off of the open? Yes, it was definitely SSR off of the open. So that adding a little bit of a confluence to the bid as well. So I like the trade on the day today. Earnings, maybe not a hot reaction to it just yet, but I'm going to let it digest. I like the reaction coming in right off of the open as well. In terms of an exercisable opportunity, in terms of a trade to be taken today, the long was definitely there on Lulu off of the open today.
All right, each year, guys, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., yet there is still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE listed Orgenics, OGEN, guys, on the New York Stock Exchange, is changing That with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach about $8.9 billion by 2027, Orgenix is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. Shout out to Orgenix, O-G-E-N. Yeah, here's the deal. I'm going to look at the weekly on this. This is the chart on Lulu. And we're breaking down below major technical levels. The only thing that's really keeping us up from dropping even more is this high that we have back in 2018. Look at that 2018 high. That's about 167 to 170 bucks. And that's where we're basing out today. We've lost, the COVID drop. I mean, the COVID recovery area. So it doesn't wick down quite into that 130 area, but that's the COVID level as well. It's also a previous area high from 18. So this is an important technical area, but it is below $200. And this is a secular kind of downtrend now that you can see here on Lulu. Oh, what's going on?
All right.
How are you?
Good.
How's everything?
Good.
Friday's chill?
Friday's chill.
Friday's chill? Good. How's the car? But I think the mic.
He's gonna grab the mic.
No.
Is it gonna come this far? Yeah,
Check
it'll
monthly,
reach.
please, on Lulu.
We have, are we good?
It's a long
we have
SLR.
audio?
Yeah, you're good to go. How's everything? Update us.
Did you read the report
Yes.
on Inside EVs on Wednesday?
I did not. Update me.
There are 129 FEV and BEV manufacturers in China. Okay? However, only 13 of them are turning a profit.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
That's a big ouchie.
It's hard.
It's about
That's-
10%.
Yeah,
10,
like
50%.
that's a big,
Burrito distribution.
and the Chinese state and their suppliers. I mean, the Chinese state banks
Yeah.
are like that's not
You know
so
what
good.
happened? You know what the Chinese regulator was telling these companies? Stop cutting the dang prices, Randy.
The
There
price
was a
war,
race to the bottom, man.
Right, and the price war is really having a call-on effect now, and it's
You're
incredible.
going to see industry consolidation. You're
We
going to
are.
have to have industry
We're
consolidation.
going to see some implosion there. We're going to see some consolidation, less models, and so forth. But I think the fallout's going to come at a cost.
And
Well, these companies have to make
they're going to
some
increase.
profit.
Yeah, they're going to
There
increase
has to be.
prices.
So
Well, that's been the move all along, dude, to force the North American guys out. That's why we protected
Right.
them with 100% tariffs.
when you compare the cost of producing a vehicle there versus here or the U.S. or elsewhere, even in Europe, the race to the bottom doesn't make sense. Number one. Number two, their suppliers are not getting paid, not net 30, not net 90, 180 in
Right.
some cases. And, these banks want their money back. So, yeah,
not-
it's
it's
a
not
bit
a
of an
charity,
issue.
yeah.
There's a lot of coverage that hasn't happened on this yet.
Well, we don't hear too much.
We don't
about
hear
these
much about
Chinese
it.
EVs unless you go digging, right?
Right,
And
and it's
that's for a
starting to leak
reason.
out. So I'm going to do some digging on the weekend.
You
and
see Northvolt? Yet another
Yeah.
great, fantastic business move by the previous government. I saw Carney yesterday for the first time ever. He was at the TIFF opening event. Dude, he's a likable guy.
Totally.
He's self-deprecating. He made fun of himself. He made fun of Trudeau,
Yep.
which got a big fun of from the audience, and took a little shot at Trump, obviously, in a nice little way. But he's a likable individual, not
Yes.
too bad in real
Always,
life.
I've
So
always liked him. Always liked his business
Get it,
acumen.
carbon
And
tax.
anyway,
I think he's the
just
best we've
little
got
interesting EV tidbits. So on the weekend, I'm going to dig, see what I can find, and I will report back next week.
appreciate you, Randy, man. Yeah, it was interesting yesterday.
Yeah, tell us more. Tell us more about.
It was cool,
about the
man.
event.
I mean,
Did you see any?
pull up
did
some
you see any
pictures here. Let's
celebs?
see.
Yeah, show
Yesterday's
some
fit.
pictures.
Yeah, so Ryan Reynolds was there.
What did you wear? What'd you eat?
I'll show you the gram, my boy. Hold on. All right, let's load this up. Don't put it yet, SSE. No, we gotta set it up. All right. So where is yesterday's fit, my guy? Let's show this up here. Yeah, there we go, SSE. So this is my buddy Hashem and I. That's our fit right there. That's your boy Carbon Tax, given the, that's Carney, that's obviously the Canadian Prime Minister. He's given a little speech there right at the opening. And then after this, Ryan Reynolds came on. And then after this, they premiered the John Candy movie, great Canadian, died back in the mid-90s, called I Like Me. And then this is us goofing around with like the slow motion camera. This was pretty cool. There was a lot of these ones, and there was like so many different themes.
Still a kid you're from Scarborough?
Huh? Yeah, of course,
Nice.
bro.
Yeah.
Of course. Still a kid from the borough, bro. That's where I grew up.
I thought you grew up in Markham.
Yeah, in 95. But
Okay.
from 87.
Markham and Scarborough are distinctly
87,
different.
They're not. They're border each other.
They border each other, but they're distinctly different. Let's just say they're
a lot of
distinctly
kids
different.
moved up from Scarborough to Markham, though. That was like the
Did
step
they?
up, right? Like when
Yeah.
your parents like elevated, they bought a house in back in the day. It's not now. Everybody's everything's expensive now. It depends on where you go.
Markham is hella expensive.
Yeah, well, so Scarborough. Well, some of these expensive houses. So yeah, that was it. It was a great night, man. I did.
That seems amazing, dude. That's awesome.
The Liberty Grand was the fun part. That was the after party. That was all open bar, all hors d'oeuvres, all actual food, and they had like a drone show, and it was pretty sick.
Did you get to talk to the celebs? You talked to Ryan Reynolds?
I didn't know, but like anyway, we didn't stay for the entire John Candy movie because my friend didn't want to stay for the whole thing. He couldn't get cell reception. He's in digital ad sales and he had to work.
Okay, so he has to work.
So he couldn't get this in the Roy Thompson Hall. So he had to leave. And there was going to be a meet and greet with Ron Reynolds afterwards, and there was going to be questions and stuff.
I would have been like, yo, bro, you got to work. Just go get your work done and come back. I'm chilling here. Mike P. Ryder saying, did anyone say open bar? Yes.
Yes, no, it was open bar, and they had like specialty drinks. It was quite good. The thing is, though,
that's why you strolled in a little later today. I was like, okay, all right.
But here's the deal: like, if it's open bar, people need to tip. But people don't carry cash anymore, Ob. I don't carry cash anymore. There has to be a tap for the tip for the open bar, right? Because I felt bad, and there was no machine, and then we had to walk all the way super far to get a machine.
Were other people tipping?
Yeah, there was cash. Okay. There was American cash. It was Canadian cash, but I didn't have cash on me, bro.
Who the hell keeps?
Anyway, so you got to have.
I think funny enough, the only cash I have in my wallet is American cash.
There you go.
So,
all right, Adair, we digressed long enough. I'm so sorry about that. Let's go on to the next news item.
Tip taps.
Yeah, I mean, go Tiff. I'm a fan of Tiff. Shout out to Tiff, and I'm happy you enjoyed yourself. Sharif, that outfit was also very fire, the suit. So let's talk here about Tesla. And I'm going to start here with this image. This is a real image posted on X by a shareholder by the name of Alexandra Mers for Tesla. Alexandra Mers. She's known on X as Tesla Boomer Mama, and she is one of the leaders of the Tesla shareholder movement. So why do I bring up Tesla shareholders here? This is my transition into our story on Tesla. Elon Musk, we know previously, that judge in the Chancery Court in Delaware poo-pooed his $56 billion pay package. Now they're trying for a $1 trillion pay package that would be paid out over 11 tranches over like a 1 decade period. So the goal for the end of this is to get Tesla to a staggering $8.5 trillion market cap. So the last two tranches, the 11th and 12th tranche, are only payable if first he reaches, Tesla reaches that $7.5 trillion market cap, then you get the 11th tranche. If we get that $8.5 trillion, Elon gets the final tranche, and we get that roughly $1 trillion market cap. So what are the other things that need to happen here? Again, we need to get that market cap to the upside. Some other targets include 1 million robotaxis and 1 million AI bots created over that period. So I think the market cap is like definitely the splashiest, but Elon Musk's stake in Tesla could rise to at least 25% as this happens. We know Elon and the Tesla bulls on X have been very, very aggressive about Elon needing that 25% stake. And the thing is, too, I'm going to talk a little bit more, if I may, on this because I have a lot of thoughts on this. I think one thing here with Tesla that's super important that Brendan and I were talking about this morning as well is Elon Musk needs to be incentivized. We know that he was able to achieve the last $56 billion milestone. Now, obviously, this one is significantly larger, but we know that there have been some concerns about, cars being announced and then never heard about again. If Elon Musk has these specific goals, he's much more likely to meet them, and I actually believe that he very much can. So I think it's a good look here. And it's interesting, too. I want to clarify, the Tesla bulls are very excited about this, and I actually think because of that, we need the shareholders to vote for this, right? I think if the shareholders do vote, and obviously retail shareholders really want to, they back Elon, they back this proposal, I think there is a very good chance of this actually getting approved. And with that in mind, we literally have, there's one daily shareholder live stream, and I'm not joking. A whole bunch of them go on live every day on X, led by this guy named Herbert Ong. I spend way too much time on Tesla Bull Twitter. But anyways, so the title of that stream was Breaking, Elon Musk will make Tesla an $8.5 trillion company. So I guess don't mess with Tesla retail shareholders, as the post says, and Tesla to $8.5 trillion? We'll find out.
Yeah, that's $8.5 trillion. Do you think that he should be justified to get, you know, whatever he wants if he's able to increase the market cap to 8.5 trillion, because that's the premise of the first agreement that was invalidated. Nobody thought that he could ever reach it. He reached it, and then when he reached it, people crapped all over it and said it was unfair.
Yeah.
That's the good side. The bad side is you're actually issuing about 423 million additional shares to get him into that 25% position, which is fantastic for the people that want him to have that 25%, but it's dilutive to everybody else. But at the same time, it would be accretive if you were in early and got to take that move into 8.5 trillion. But if you got in later, well, then you're not seeing as much upside. So there, you can kind of see both sides of the equation there. I don't know.
So
I don't know how to think about this.
I think that here's the thing. I have maybe strong opinions on this, even though I'm not necessarily. I like Elon a lot. I think he's doing a great job in terms of like for human civilization. People might not like the way he's doing it or whatever. But at the end of the day, he's proven time and time again that he can make these quote unquote outlandish goals and then achieve them over and over again. And over again. So the dude's a friggin' savant. Okay, let's be very clear. The dude's a friggin' savant. So if you have I get a little emotional. If you don't know what he's talking about, then maybe you should try to learn. Maybe you should try to see where he's coming from. I was gonna go.
There. I like it.
You know, if you have certain things below certain levels, then you should maybe not talk. Is all I'm going to say, all right? Especially when you're dealing with somebody who back to back. You know what? Munger even called him out. Charlie Munger, rest in peace. He was like, there are guys that will show up once in a while who you think are ridiculous investments, and they will hit it right out of the park, and you will be wrong.
He's that guy.
Elon Musk is that guy. So regardless of whatever it is, give the man his money. If he gets it to 8 trillion, give the man his money. Regardless, you can see
that's
that
the deal.
He's not.
That's the deal. Nobody's forcing anybody into
exactly. No one's forcing anybody. He's like, if he can grow the company to that level, if the company can get to that level, then does he deserve a payout? Sure, why not? Tesla's one of the leading companies of our time. Sure, maybe they don't make as much money as people really like, whatever. But I think the path that they're taking us down, I think, is definitely worthwhile. I think the man himself is not necessarily, he has necessarily ill intentions for humanity. Sure, people can put on tinfoil hats and talk about why he's doing things, who he's with, whatever. I don't really care about those things.
That kind of personal life stuff.
His achievements speak for themselves. That's all I'm going to say.
That's all. We're not investing in his personal life. But you have to admit, there has been a bit of an X factor lately where he's dabbled outside of the company focus and gotten the shares.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, you're still human. Right, he's still human at the end of the day.
I love the comments coming in, bro.
Yeah, the comments are absolutely
they're next level stuff, and I'm not going to.
It's like you can't expect a guy. So to be functional at that level, like I said, the guy is working on like a savant level type of thing. You're gonna do some weird things.
100%.
You're gonna be a little erratic.
Weird.
You're gonna be super weird. You are not going to be like 99% of the people, so you can't be part of the 99% and be like, oh, that 1% guy is different than us. Why?
Yeah, I love it.
Like know your place. I'm
ridiculous. Look, you guys can feel however way, and I respect everybody's opinion. Obi has his opinion. I have my opinion. Obi, here are the technicals, though. This is the weekly on Tesla, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I see higher lows here, my man. This is the weekly here on Tesla. Look at this, higher lows, higher lows. You're looking for that 350 break on a decisive basis. If you get a nice closing candle that closes towards the high above that 350, we easily take that and we go. So I like what I see here. Now, I like the higher lows on the weekly. Now, it's not as clean on the daily, obviously, but that's why you look at the weekly. You can kind of see it as well. The higher lows are operative here. I like it. It's setting up what I perceive to be a flat top break, 350, 360. We also have these levels that go back. Don't forget, guys, into November and December, or late November, before we got that top explosion through 360. So this is a key level, right? This level right here that we've been basically dancing around since the election. Obviously, we took it out over here, but this is a key level, 360, 370. You know what would be a cool tool? to put in a price of a stock, and it gives you the market cap. That way you can make an assessment at that price.
Yeah, at that price.
Yeah, so that you could make an assessment. Oh, is this a level for a market cap reason?
Yeah, people look at that. Yeah, for sure, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I like Tesla, obviously, for a continuation into 400. Maybe not now. Maybe into the new year. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, thank you for all the comments. Respect everybody and what they have to say. Adara, what is the next news item?
Next we're going to talk about Apple. This is not a huge story, but I spelled Apple wrong. That's why the chart wasn't coming up. There we go. I had 3 A's instead of 2. Apple and watch here. Bloomberg reporting that apparently the company's sales in India, annual sales in India, have jumped 13% to nearly $9 billion in the last fiscal year. Apparently they're attributing that drive to iPhone demand and an increase in MacBook sales, interestingly enough. So iPhone and MacBook seem to be what are pushing these India sales to the upside. Now, apparently this performance gives a little bit of underscoring here for India's importance as Apple's trying to expand its retail presence, and they're also trying to get outside of China, which we know. But here's the thing. India is now not really seeming like the ally it once was. Donald Trump posted a little sassy Truth Social post about India and Russia and their perceived alliance with China. So we already know that, Trump would not even name India as a country when Tim Cook showed up for that Apple debut event where he gave him the gold thing. And we know that Trump said, oh, well, you're doing things to other countries. I'm not going to name the countries. It was India. So this is a pretty interesting story here. Even as we have these ongoing tensions with India on a couple different scales and a couple different contexts, Apple doing quite well there, Sharif and Nobi.
Apparently did well as well, Adair, which is interesting. I'm just reading over this. Retail expansion played a critical role. Apple opened new stores in Bangalore and Pune. I think I'm reading that right. And plans furthers in, I can't say these, Mumbai, obviously. I know how to say that. That's easy. They've shifted a large portion of production, as we know, with every 1 in 5 phones now made locally, boosting supply. That's not bad. What's the market context here? Despite, the fact that India only represents a small fraction of Apple's global business, the speed at which it's growing, I think, is the main thing here. And I think that's why people are looking at, look, bro, let's just cut out the crap. Get it, Mark. India's growing as a big time, economy in the world. And it's becoming a lot more important as they grow. Obviously, they get more purchasing power, more money in their hand, and they're going to buy these iPhones, and they're going to buy, the more premium product. And I can just speak for the Middle East. The Middle East, the iPhone is seen as the premium product. It's like a status thing.
Yeah, of course. That's most places around the world.
You don't want to be carrying an Android generally if you're trying to get that status symbol. But, that's obviously very superficial thinking, but it's what drives a lot of these sales.
No, for sure. Again, like we were just talking about, the majority of users, I think you said it right. It is a very superficial thing. Right, it's a prestige thing. The technology is great. We know it's not the best technology out there. The user interface is great. We know it's not the best out there, but it works. It works for a majority of the people, and that's why Apple is a great company. Products, again, you guys already know my opinion on Apple. Their products, if to use, I think are absolutely dog water. But people love to use them, and that's perfectly fine as well. They're easy to use. They're very straightforward, and if you like that sort of a thing, then that's absolutely solid. But when it comes to the chart, I think that's a little bit more important here, because Apple is a very good and strong company, and they have a very strong consumer base, and they've been doing well to expand into places like India to kind of bring down those production costs, and also just expand where their manufacturing kind of takes place as well. So I think it's great for expanding not only Apple's business but India's economy as well, like you said.
Yes.
And I think the more if you can make the phone at a better price and make it more available to the general population, you're going to have more adaptation by the public as well. So I like that look. Let me just take a look at the chart. We know we've been kind of bidding back up, not at all-time highs just yet, Sharif, but almost there. I think I got that 259. We'll go straight up to the weekly chart here. So that 259.18 is that all-time high. We're making our way there, man. We are on our way to those all-time highs. 239.50s as of right now. That prior high I'm seeing just shy of that 250, and we're only about $10 away, Sharif here.
Yes, sir.
So we saw the 200 push just a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago actually, and then now we're seeing that continuation all the way up to 250. So I'm thinking if this continues, if we continue doing what we've been doing, then fresh highs on Apple are almost inevitable.
Yeah, I think we take out 260 maybe by the end of the year, maybe before. If we get some...
Full disclosure, I am long Apple in my personal
same.
account.
Yeah,
I'm
course.
sure a lot of people are, right?
Shout out to Kanye East. Elon is like Sydney Sweeney, amid space is fake, rockets to nowhere, bras, can't break through the firmament. Bible gang, rocket gang, yeah, amen. Thank you for the super chat. DUO broke through 4. Nice break into that 403 area. So we got the print into that area. So, but we're still below that 414 on DUO. So I'm going to keep my eye on this one. I still have a beak wetter, so we're going to let this one go. I want to see if we can take out 4 decisively. So that's my look there. Now, with respect to Apple, let's bring it back over here. I like this. This is the weekly on Apple. We kind of bull flagged a little bit. That was the breakout in early August when, Tim Apple went to the White House, brought Donald Trump a gift, and it's all been hunky-dory since that time. We're bull flagging, and it looks like we're taking out the bull flag top with a 241 high today. Obviously, we're still negatory on Apple, 239. We're essentially flat, down 0.14. So I think, the real level is 250. We did get to 260 last time with that topping tail. It could be 250 to 255 because you did get a closing print into 255. But we're not far away from all-time highs. I just hope everybody had the presence of mind to be able to add into the tariff tantrum, because the tariff tantrum to me was akin to COVID. The COVID in March 2020, when everybody had a great buying opportunity there. The tariff tantrum to me was one of those. The unwind of the yen carry trade was also one of those, basically last year as well. So there's been a couple of great ones, I gotta say, to be honest. So very happy with how this has been going, and we just got stopped out there through the break of VWAP on DUO on the last little bit, but we'll stay positive on this one. Quite happy with that. Shout out to everybody there in the chat. I have found D. Westermeyer, I have found a boring lane that has given me 3 winning trades this week, 100% win rate, Dow futures. That's my man. Shout out to D. Hope you're doing well, brother. And shout out to the Midwest. Adara, what's the next look?
Yeah, the next one here is UiPath, which I mentioned earlier when I was on the midday trading desk. I thought this stock was a bit indecisive. Right now, it looks like it just want to push lower, but we did have an initial positive reaction. We still are above yesterday's lows intraday. So let's talk here about PATH. EPS beat here, 15 cents versus 8 cents expected. Sales, 362 million versus 347.53 million. So that's a double beat. Q3 sales, they guided better than expected, 390 million to 395 million, above estimates of 384.675 million. They also raised their guidance for fiscal 26, their sales guide from 1.549 billion to 1.554 billion to a new guide here of 1.571 billion to 1.576 billion. That is above estimates of 1.566 billion. Not a lot to say here. This stock, not super exciting on an intraday basis, but the report was quite stellar.
Interesting. I'm just reading through the report, Adara. So it's basically, it said it's highlighting really their robust momentum in enterprise automation software, setting the stage for continued growth, looking such as low-code AI agents. Interesting. We've seen a lot of that coming from CRM, not really helping their revenue quite yet. Looks like automations are gaining customer traction, helping UiPath outperform competitors. Revised guidance and the pre-market stock search signaled optimism with their strategic execution. So it's an interesting look. I mean, I was reading a data point. I don't know if you read the same thing, Adara, but there was this data point that I think only about maybe a handful of companies are actually benefiting from any discernible AI spend, and it's mainly the hyperscalers. I don't know if you read the same thing or you
I didn't read that, but that makes a lot of sense, honestly. Like, there's just kind of a viewpoint that when you say it out loud, I'm like, okay, yeah, that kind of feels like common sense, right? Because the AI hyperscalers are, I mean, they're the most prominent, right? They're the most forward-facing, and also, I mean, like, they're the ones that are actually getting the deals. They're making the deals, right? So it's not, I don't know, it's not that shocking to me. We talked about CRM too, hyping up AI, and it's not really, you know, it's not really the force for sales that they maybe thought it might be.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know.
And like, the thing about some of these, like their moats, Adara, is like some of them, like they're going to be replaceable by some of the OpenAIs. So as we see OpenAI expand their product offering, like first we saw agent mode, right? We got reasoning model, and then they mixed them all in ChatGPT 5. So at what point, like, do you think, I'm just speaking out loud here, do you kind of see the adding of free tools by some of these bigger AI companies like OpenAI that kind of does away with the need altogether for CRM? So I was watching Kramer Adara, and he was like basically trying to push Mark Benioff on the fact, are you worried about your entire business model being a client relations management software, a SaaS, that you may get, you know, replaced by OpenAI or any point. Other, you know, they're trying to use AI, Adara, to stay relevant, but does AI make them irrelevant? You know what I mean? Like,
it's a catch-22. I don't really have much comment on that because I think, like you said, and like Kramer kind of said, time will probably tell on that. But yeah, I mean, hope Benioff is able to find a way to get Benny on track there. That was a terrible pun. I'll send it back to you.
I feel that. Yeah, that's kind of been, thank you, Adara. That's been kind of my thinking, you know, some of these, you know, software as a service companies that were doing well for so long because they get that incremental monthly payment every month you're paying, and it's a business to business operations so you're not, it's not business to consumer, so your margins are a lot higher on a business to business and you're constantly getting that money. Then all of a sudden AI shows up and makes your entire moat, your entire business model, or puts it in jeopardy of being irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what CRM is. Like, I remember you use CRM software for some stuff. We also use pharmacy software for some stuff. We have medical practice software as well for billing and for scheduling and stuff like that. But I can't tell you how much these companies are trying to employ AI into their software. When really, I think AI is going to be like offered to you by like Google in the way that they offer you Google Docs, they offer you Excel, and it's all free.
Google Doc will be something different.
Yeah.
They're going to literally have a Google Doc.
You're not going to need the reason for that. Who pays? I mean, I used to buy, obviously, Microsoft Office and everything like that for school. You know, I never downloaded it illegally and everything. Like, nobody did that, you know? So the point is,
Hey, listen, I have been sailing the 7 seas for a very long time. Let me just say that. From a very, very long time.
Did. She's saying the same thing. AI can also build you a CRM in a day. Rusty, that's kind of exactly what I'm saying. So some of these very hyper-specific software as a service platforms, they may be completely made to be irrelevant soon. I don't know. I don't know what Pirate Bay is, Matt M. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You have no idea?
Stop implicating things my way, okay?
Oh, okay, all right.
Where is he? I hear him.
I can't.
There he is. There's that guy. There he is up there. Sure. He's like, sure.
Yeah, listen.
Get it, Adara. All right. Do you have anything to add, or should we go?
This was on Path, right? UiPath. This is what we're talking about. Yeah, bit of a muted reaction today. We talked about this one in I think this one in DocuSign. I think we talked about it in the pre-market session. And I was like, yeah, they're gapping up. They're kind of moving. They're doing some relative volume, but nothing too crazy on the docket here. And yeah, we've seen pretty much that coming in off the open. Flat day, sure, a little bit of a shake and bake, but I'm not really seeing anything that was even like a B plus kind of trade on this name today. Now, I'm sure some of you may be seeing things a little differently. I'm not saying that that's the only that's the end all be all of it. But I'm sure somebody can come in and be like, well, look, held offer, look at the bleed, look at the rollover, and we start trading below VWAP as well. Sure, you can come up with a few different things that might have been pretty strong for your playbook. But for me, I think there were other opportunities on the day today which were very, very, I guess, more lucrative and more interesting. But when it comes to AI taking over some of the software, I think you hit the nail on that one there. I think for sure there's going to be AI providers that will cover a whole lot of bases. Google is one of the best ones who is set up for that. I've always been saying this. Google is the best poised, one of the best poised companies to have. They have their hand in everything.
But they're not executing great. But yeah, they are.
I'm sure once they get.
I want to say something. So people are commenting in the chat, and rightfully so. Like no, software needs a back end. No, software, it requires a whole bunch of programming. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think that the AIs can actually generate that for you.
Yeah, of course they can.
So
they can deal with all of that, especially with like agentic AI. Like, you can deal with all of that.
Exactly. Like, I mean, you know how easy it is for me to use Agent to go and extract technical levels for me off charts. Right? If you just set up the agent to do that, it literally does the process for you. Anyway, we're going to digress a little bit. Adara, I want to hear about that meeting yesterday, the dinner with Donald Trump, with all the bigwigs and all the tech bros there. Give me some information on that, because I didn't get to read anything about it.
Well, to quote Trump, people are going to be spending a lot of money in the U.S. And honestly, he actually did say that. So basically, I haven't seen the whole dinner. I want to clarify, I've seen clips so far, but what basically is happening is they all kind of went in a circle and told Trump how much money they'd be donating to the U.S. And it was kind of weird. But here again is the group. I think there were some others as well, but these were like the people who were confirmed heading into the meeting. Lisa Su was not reported by all outlets, but I was able to catch that she was coming, and she was there. So Lisa Su there, her cousin Jensen Huang was not in attendance, but we did have Micron representation, Oracle representation, Sundar Pichai of Alphabet, Microsoft, Apple, Meta, Shift 4, even Jared Isaacman, whose NASA nomination was rescinded, he still showed up to this. So pretty wild look. Yeah, I guess to just cover the highlights, it's nothing really that we didn't know. Apple, I have not seen any confirmation of that. But David Sachs was there, because I know we were talking about this yesterday, and Neil said I heard he was coming, and I was seeing that he and his wife were both, Natalie Dompe, they were both like maybe coming or maybe invited, but I never saw any confirmation either way.
Yeah.
I do want to say here as well, though, that like what actually happened here, Sharif, nothing really new. $600 billion, I apologize, the watch list said 600 million, I just realized. Meta here, $600 billion investment at a minimum in the US over the next 4 years. Sundar Pichai, Google ready to invest $200 billion into the US initiatives over the next 2 years. So I guess with Google, it seems to be more like they're going to be investing in initiatives rather than centers. Maybe the way he worded it was interesting. Then we had Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella promising 70 to 80 billion. In case you're thinking, hey, that's a lot lower than the other guys, he said that's just in 2025 alone. So Satya Nadella promising 70 to 80 billion this year alone, and then Apple CEO Tim Cook reiterating their previously announced plans to invest $600 billion. See the weird Apple Glass thing presentation, if you guys don't remember that announcement. But one thing too that I will say is Sam Altman, I almost said Sam Cooke, who is a singer, shout out to Sam Cooke, but Sam Altman of OpenAI, he was also there. He didn't give a number. He just said a lot of money. And then Trump got really excited about the a lot of money thing. So yeah, that's my quick summary of this dinner. I apologize, it's a bit scattershot, but frankly, so was this being a dinner. Yeah.
For that, Adair, show that. That's great.
Here, I guess I'll show the post here. I thought this was actually funny. It's an X post. I don't know who this guy is. Sam Badawi or whatever. But I got this on one of my my Discord. So he's asking who are your top engineers, because we were talking about the poaching, right? It's
Obi, I got some numbers here, brother.
Yes.
Meta's market cap is 1.88 trillion. Okay.
Boom.
They want to spend $600 billion over 4 years. What the helly? Are they going to issue? Or where are they going to get this money? I mean, how much cash do they have? So Zuckerberg announced a minimum commitment of $600 billion in 4 years, not a decade, not 15 years,
that's fine.
4 years, to U.S. data centers and infrastructure, signaling massive scale-up of domestic AI capability and cloud compute. Figure, while debated in media, go ahead, Adira.
I was just going to say here, Trump's exact response to that announcement, and I quote was, "It's a lot." So I figured you wouldn't mind me cutting you off for that.
No, Adira, $600 billion is insane. That is a little bit less than half of, obviously, its market cap. It's 1.88 trillion.
Yeah.
So I'd love to get obviously a bit more details. He's gonna, I'm assuming there's gonna be all sorts of debt raising. He doesn't have $600 billion in cash. That's a fact.
Yep.
I mean, they're making about 45 billion. They're making about 45 billion every quarter, give or take. Okay.
Yeah.
Say they rise up to 50.
How much
Let's go
they take
50 times 4. 50 times 4. We got 200 billion a year. That's what they're bringing in revenue a year. 200 billion a year. They want to spend 600 billion Over 4 years.
Over 4 years.
So that's their revenue for all of those years, assuming the revenue stays at 50. It's obviously going to increase, I'm assuming, obviously.
I think
That's kind of crazy right there. Does anybody have any comments on this?
there's been times in the past where Meta has put in a significant chunk of what it's worth to grow, and I think they're doing more of the same. I think that, like that, yeah, sure, maybe a good chunk of the company, but I think it's definitely healthy. They've done it in the past, and they're continuing to do it more. It is a good chunk. They're definitely going to have to raise money for that. But here's the thing: that's what the market is for. The market is a tool for companies to raise money.
Well said.
Right,
Adair's got breaking news.
Yeah, keep an eye here on Kenvue and Johnson & Johnson. This is Kenvue dropping aggressively. Your Wall Street Journal reporting that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the Health and Human Services Department,
they're going to get the money.
he runs, are apparently going to be linking autism to Tylenol use in pregnancy and folate deficiency. So again, J&J and Kenvue, KVUE, dropping here as we get that report from the Wall Street Journal that, KVUE dropping a lot more aggressively here. But either way, both these stocks dropping after the Wall Street Journal reports that RFK Jr. and the Health and Human Services Department are looking to link autism to Tylenol use during pregnancy and deficiencies in folate. GSK apparently also moving on this. Last but not least, I have another news story here. During a developers conference, apparently a Roblox executive said that over 100 experiences are generating over $1 million annually, and the company is launching their new Roblox Moments app. RBLX, J&J, KVUE, and GSK, and back to you.
Wow, thank you very much, Adara. Yeah, that's breaking news and breaking the bid on Kenvue. J&J not really having that sustained of a reaction. We did get some strong selling and then unsustained. Picks right back up and balances itself out. KVUE, though, yeah, continuing to the downside here. I'm going to actually pull this up. I want to see how the tape is looking like. It seems like people are just running for the bid here and just punching out. So KVUE, I'm pretty sure trades on the NYSE here. So let me pull that in. Let's see, KVUE on the NYSE. Should populate in the middle right there. And oh boy, look at that, coming in real hot here. Let me pull it up for you guys here. KVUE on the NYSE as well, so we can both take a look at the book as it pukes lower and lower. So yeah, 1837 is currently trading right now. Let's throw on a filter if it'll have me. Filter for greater than 99. We want to see when strong participants show up on the book, and that is not the one that I was. So not show matching highlight rows. I want you to highlight the bigger participants here. So a nice little bid happening now off of the 1834 low currently. 1867 is being traded at. But yeah, fresh news, strong flush right through 20, right through 19. Didn't really give me a lot of time to get in here because, again, even though Adara brought us the news right away, the move already had happened for another like nine minutes. It was already happening there as well. So strong little flush on there. Maybe a bit of a potential for reversion, but I'm going to have it up on watch now as an absolute quadunk coming in off of that. Let's just take a look at higher time frame as well to isolate some specific levels here. So this prior low right here, we'll mark that off and we can see what that potentially comes in at. That comes in at 1920s. These prior lows at 1687s. Maybe some of these levels here as well that are coming in as both resistance and support. I like a little bit of significance. And right through that 20, oh boy. So that was a weekly breakdown as well on that news. Absolutely wild. Some of the follow-throughs that these technical breakdowns have when confluenced with intraday catalysts, it's almost as if, like, I think about it sometimes. I'm like, should I just sit with kind of orders, you know, like wish orders at technical break levels just in case like something happens on a stock. Obviously, Kenvue is maybe not something that I'm watching, but something in general. I'm just fine. You know, you got to be quick to the move. But here's the thing: the fastest participants in this move are definitely algo traders. Traders that have set up algos to kind of, you know, scrape the web and be the first for executing off of Catalyst. Those are definitely the initial participants on this.
Derek, can we do the NVIDIA CoreWeave story? Because I've got some comments about that, and Samsara is kind of a dud.
Tara, let's do NVIDIA CoreWeave. NVDA. So to be fair, I think this story was, like, at least initially, CoreWeave moved on this, and I don't know if the market necessarily, like, remember much of it. I didn't see much commentary on it in the morning, but I included it because of that move yesterday night on CoreWeave. So right before the close, around 3:50 p.m., maybe 3:49 p.m., we did have a report from the information basically saying that NVIDIA has agreed to rent 10,000 AI chips from Lambda, which is a cloud provider, for $1.3 billion over a 4-year period. Now, this report also indicates that NVIDIA struck a additional $200 million deal for 8,000 additional chips. So 2 deals, one, $1.3 billion for over 4 years for 10,000 AI chips. The second, $200 million for 8,000 additional chips. So I don't really understand the structure of this deal, but it's just a report, so it makes sense we don't have all the details. Now, these deals would actually make NVIDIA Lambda's largest customer ahead of its expected IPO. That's right, this company is expected to IPO. I looked a little bit into this. I think earlier this year they had like a decent funding round, so they're not completely coming out of nowhere here. But Lambda also, though, in the same space as CoreWeave, in case you're like, hey, how does CoreWeave fit into this? So CoreWeave, maybe not necessarily losing some business to Lambda, but I mean, certainly having a competitor take away a customer that they've been used, or I guess that they've used in the past. As you can see here, this one CoreWeave got that drop. And that's the story here with CRWV and NVDA. Are you guys excited for the Lambda IPO, which we all just learned about now?
Take any AI IPOs because they've been running lately. They're the crypto and the AI. But I want to talk about this because some people were making the argument that this is a circular business model, that NVIDIA sells chips to a company, Lambda, and then rents them back. But that's not actually what's happening. Apparently, Lambda is going to be a cloud provider using NVIDIA's chips, and NVIDIA has its own requirement for compute, right? I mean, they're not just only selling this, they're operating a big company, and they got to have a lot of compute. So that's what they're doing. So instead of building their own data centers, NVIDIA-owned data centers with their own product, obviously the advanced AI chips, they're just selling them to a cloud provider and then renting the cloud provider compute back from Lambda. So I do like that. Initially, obviously, it feels like it's a circular business model where NVIDIA just sells its own chips and then rents them back to kind of cook the books and make things look a certain way. That's not exactly what's happening here. It's not exactly what's happening. And I like the CoreWeave angle because this renting out business, this might end up being quite good because there's so many companies that want compute but don't necessarily want to fork over the initial investment into the compute. The only problem that I see with this business model is that these chips become defunct and kind of old very quickly. So you're constantly having to buy new, and these things are obviously not cheap. They're getting more expensive, $50,000 a pop, and you got to have a few $100,000, if not a few million. Your boy Elon wants to string 1 million of these things together. Yep. So it seems like it's great, from the demand, but the CapEx heavy requirement of these renting companies could pose a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I think that kind of stands with most tech, like developing tech as well. Like, for example, you see that happen with NVIDIA chips all the time. Like you build a PC, right? I build a PC today. 2 months down the road, there's already probably fresh parts. There's probably better parts out there. Sure, it could be like I remember, I think it was a few years ago. Like I got like all the. Sure, I didn't get like an i9 or anything like that, but I got all the latest like the Intel chips. I think new DDR5 RAM had just come out recently as well. Those were flying off the shelves. So like everything was like, quote unquote, bleeding edge in a sense. And a few months down the road, it was just not necessarily, it wasn't obsolete. It's not obsolete. I still use it to this day. I'm sure I'm going to be able to use it for the next 5 years at the very least. But the way that technology progresses at times, especially in the chip world, I think you just have to know that, and that becomes a cost of business, right? I forget what it was. There was that. Come back to me for this, but there was that whole the chip law or something. I forget what it was.
It's like like how obsolete or how quickly
Moore's law. I think Moore's law. Thank you. Yeah. So I think it was Moore's law.
How quickly they can make advances.
Yeah. How fast? How much faster the advances can keep on going, right? So you just have to remember that, keep that into account, and that's the game that you're getting yourself into if you're gonna pursue this.
Feels
right?
like that.
So
right?
it is very much that, and that's how the graphics card game has been forever, right?
Going back in the days,
is it sustainable?
Video cards. Remember when you used to call them video cards? Yeah. Remember ATI? I
still call them video.
Remember ATI?
Yeah.
Before NVIDIA became it was ATI that made the good video cards. I used to put my own computers together. When I was a kid. Let's look at the CoreWeave.
I'm very much an NVIDIA fanboy, but and an Intel fanboy. But let's take a quick look at this.
So this has got to be one of the more famous head and shoulder patterns right now. in this market. This is the CoreWeave Head and Shoulders. We were talking about this. Am I still out of the money on this, Obe?
Are you long?
I'm still $1,500 out of the money on my CoreWeave shorts because they're September $1,900 puts on CoreWeave.
Nice.
Yeah, well, it's sim, right? We did this as a test.
Okay.
Joseph and I, right?
Yeah, so those are still out of the money?
$1,500, and the price action on CoreWeave
Has been straight down.
it's eight.
Where did you buy them?
We're hitting 87. I bought them back. I can look. But anyway, that was really one of the reasons I wanted to do my first options trade in the sim is to get a whole understanding of theta, right? Oh, Joseph's always telling me about this time value, etc. So yeah, good story there. I like the business model of these companies renting out compute. Hypercube in the chat was telling me, he's like, I use Lambda, and I called it Lambda. I know, I'm tired, it's Lambda, I know the letter. He goes, I use Lambda, it's great because, I know that Lambda's a dance from Brazil, Assassino. I screwed up, I'm tired. I use Lambda, it's great because you can write older chips at a huge discount without having to pay for rack, etc. I didn't know that, that's really interesting. So there, we were just talking about having to replace these chips. They found a use for them by renting them at a discount, which brings in, again, revenue, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And you get to depreciate these every year, capital cost depreciation, right? So you get to claim it back on tax, but you're still renting them out, they're still bringing you money.
Exactly.
So it's not a bad.
So I don't think that's what I said. I don't think it's a bad thing because you can have your new set. You can buy your new sets of chips to rent out, and obviously charge a premium for those. But you're still probably going to have a customer that probably doesn't want that kind of compute just yet.
Doesn't need
maybe
it
they don't need
for
it.
that purpose.
Right? And then you open up a whole market of okay, lower cost chip rentals for the companies that still maybe don't need that high-end computing power, but now they can do their business at a more affordable price. So I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. It's more of a benefit, if anything, for the market. In a sense, that's just my look on that. But CoreWeave definitely backside right now.
Shout out to Howard. Thank you, Howard, for the $2 super chat. Cisco, same 1990s, and was indicted minus 70% stock. So here is Cisco's highs. We still haven't gotten back to those highs. Yes, that was the .com bubble and the build out, right? This one was really going from basically 91 onward. So the high, this is the monthly chart on Cisco. We made that high, looks like March of 2000. We got to 146. So we're still, with the local area high here, we're still down 50%. So yes, a decade and a half, 2 decades and a half later, we're still not 50% lower than all-time highs. But hey, it's certainly better than where we were in the mid-2000s when this thing was trading at $15. Right? So back in the 70s, it's repurposed itself. Thank you again, Howard, for that. Appreciate it. Pathetic. I haven't even been watching the U.S. Open, brother. I haven't been able to because I just don't have time. But I'll keep it. I know the semifinals today for the women. Adara, let's weasel on over to the next story. What do we got?
Now let's talk here about our pal, or not our pal, but we'll just talk about DocuSign here. I want to mention too, Fed's Goolsby talking. And once again, we have a sign where the market is really eager for us to get these rate cuts. The CME FedWatch tool is actually 100% priced in some kind of cut. But Goolsby still a little bit hawkish here, saying that the Fed needs to make sure that service inflation uptick is just a blip, and that it's important to look at the inflation side of the Fed's mandate too, I guess implying that people have been too focused on the employment side of the mandate. He also said that, quote, if we were to start seeing layoffs, we'd be nervous. So seems like Fed's Goolsby's not too concerned about this NFP print coming out. We know we've had some other Feds say the same, that yes, employment is important, but we're still not where we need to be on inflation. Interesting stuff, worth noting he is speaking, and these comments in context of the number we got, pretty interesting. DocuSign. Not much to say here. Solid, pretty solid report initially, at least well received by the market. Not a super exciting intraday trade as some of these earnings plays have been. Q2 adjusted earnings, 92 cents per share versus 84 expected. Sales, 860 million versus, 800.64 million, apologies, versus 780.24 million expected. So that's a double beat there. DocuSign raised their guidance for the fiscal year. They're expecting sales between $3.15 and $3.16 billion. So that was their initial guidance. Their new guidance, $3.19 billion to $3.2 billion, above estimates of $3.16 billion. Q3 sales are guiding between $804 million and $808 million, nicely above estimates of $796.55 million. That is a double beat and a raise and a better than expected Q3 guide. Not much to look here that's negative. Would you guys sign off on this report?
Thank you very much, Derek.
Notes here. So it's not just e-signatures and stuff that DocuSign's been doing. They've been trying to expand their moat. And one of the moats that they're expanding into is something called contract life cycle management. Super interesting. So you actually take a contract from initiation and you manage all the performance obligations required by each party under the contract, and they act like a sort of as a check mechanism to make sure that all that's being done, and they charge a fee, obviously, and there's really no overhead other than obviously the automation systems that have to do it. So that's really interesting. So just reading about some of the other things they're expanding into. So they're in their core business, which is e-signatures, but they've got that contract lifecycle management, CLM they're calling it. Also intelligent agreement management, which I want to find more on, IAMs they're calling it. So I do like this, Ob, because the fact that they're trying to expand into things other than just, digital signatures, which we all, used a lot more, since COVID onwards. But I was saying, because we were building out that whole thing, and there was not one agreement that I actually signed in actual paper. I think maybe my old man signed one, but most of them were e-signatures. But at a certain point, you exhaust that market, right? You don't exhaust it, you continue to trend, but you're growing at 3%. You're not growing 15, 20, 25% every day. Why are you laughing? What, did you get a message?
Yeah,
Okay.
Just Wayne's messaging me.
Okay.
I can. He's like, well, what happened to Microsoft today? I was like, there might have been more sellers than buyers. That's what I said. And he threatened to ban me from the Discord group.
He did?
I was like, all right, thank you. That's how I was laughing. Here's the thing. I haven't used DocuSign to sign documents, but you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Most of the documents I sign these days is majority digital, straight up digital, and I use Adobe for that.
Right.
I have my signature and everything set up with my Adobe account. So whenever I need to sign a digital document, usually it's a PDF. I'll just log into my Adobe and use that to do the digital signature. It's just much easier for me. But I've never used DocuSign, but it is definitely shifting towards digital signatures and digital contracts a lot more. For sure. So I do see that coming in, and I'm a participant of that kind of move as well. It's rare. It's very rare that I'll sign like a piece of paper.
Yeah, it's just happening a lot less, and that's kind of what I'm noticing. Some great comments in the chat. Ichiro says, I'm familiar with DocuSign CLM. It's stupid expensive compared to their competitors. So clearly not, a specific, proprietary thing that they're doing. Looks like there's others that are doing it. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Any other comments relevant to the story here, guys? Otherwise, we'll just go on. Master E talking about NVIDIA owning CoreWeave. Yeah, they definitely own some shares. That was obvious in the...
Can I get your autograph, yo?
Oh,
He wants my autograph
right now because we said we didn't sign paper contracts.
Give me your autograph.
And it's TIFF too, and it's TIFF, so 'tis the season.
Fine.
You sure you want to give up your signature?
doesn't
Oh,
even know what
you
to do.
rarely want to give up your trading plan. You're going to give us your signature.
I mean, good luck.
crazy.
I mean, I've heard of copy trading, but good luck.
Make that money.
This guy, bro, coming in midday. I love it. There you go. That's the fakest signature
What the hell
ever.
is that?
That's a fake signature, Neil.
Don't forget the pen.
That's a fake signature, Neil. That's crazy.
That's my quick signature. So you know how everyone has a quick signature and a slower signature?
Yeah. My old man does
Neil, I
that.
can spell out my whole name. I can show you my whole name on that. Yeah. But you can't tell it. It just looks like a bunch of scribbles. But good luck. Good luck trying to copy that one there. Funny enough, you know where I got that signature from?
What?
I grew up, like my dad has a very fancy signature, and I don't know how or where he developed it from. So I always grew up trying to copy my dad's signature, and I got really, really good at copying his signature.
Boy.
Because I would sit there and I'd be like, this is so cool. I want mine to be like this. So the beginning of the signature was the same as his because we both have the same first name. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna incorporate that. And through that, I got really, let's just say I got really good at doing my dad's signature.
What you're not selling me on is the motivation for learning your dad's signature. You're telling me
I just thought it was cool.
It was cool.
I thought it was really cool because I always see him do a boom,
I'm
boom,
not
boom,
buying
boom.
that
and I was
story,
like,
but I remember there a lot of tests had to get signed.
Oh, so for that, I'd
absences
always
had to
forge
get
my mom's
signed.
signature because it was so much easier.
Okay.
And, like, I think she just wrote her name in like a fancy cursive, so I was like, all right, yeah, much easier.
Boy.
I'm not.
Oh boy.
You gotta work smarter, not harder.
All right, Adara, I don't think these ones are as important, these last ones, yeah. Yeah, I think we're done on that one, guys. All right, so we're going to go into the afternoon rundown, guys. I really want to remind you to get your last opportunity to vote for your favorite tickers right now, as we've got about 4 minutes left for you to populate these. Open is still winning with 166, but not far or competing for second is PAPL, that piece of crap that caught me in a down halt. But AMD is also a little bit ahead of PAPL at 97s. You got Palantir at 87s. Tesla always getting love. Lulu, you know whatting the bed. So it's down in 18 and a third, but also want to be spoke about. AVGO is just the flyer that we keep talking about all the time. Over $1 trillion now. That one's got about 62 votes. So get into the chat right now, guys. Make sure you're throwing in that $sign, though. Without that $sign, it means bupkis because it will not register. So make sure you're getting that. And we thank you for voting, obviously, Joe. Obi. Told you so, Jerry Jones. Kingpin will never admit it, but his team badly missed Micah Parsons and Caesar in opener. Okay, yeah, definitely. Well, we lost. So yeah, there's really no small cap gappers that I'm keeping my eye on right now, guys. One that is still continuing to kind of hang out near highs assassino is OLMA. It's not at the highs. I mean, we got out at 30 something on this one. It went to 40s, but it is kind of losing the bid a little bit here into that $8 level. Let's see if it gets a second win into the second or into the afternoon show above that 820. It's still putting in lower highs though with that 790. So I'd be keeping my eye on OLMA. We're going to go to Darius. She's got breaking news.
Ken View here commenting on this report to the CNBC again. In case you guys missed it, the Wall Street Journal reported that basically Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the Health and Human Services Department, which he is the leader of, are apparently pushing to link Tylenol and folate deficiencies in pregnant mothers to autism. So then Ken View is now coming out and commenting. They said to CNBC that they continue to believe there is no causal link between acetaminophen during pregnancy and autism. So they're basically saying that there is not any link to their knowledge between the two things. Again, this report did send Ken View sharply to the downside. Also, we have Feds Goolsbee still talking, and he really seems to be pretty hawkish. He actually said point blank, he's still not sure what he wants to do in September. Back to you.
You know what Ram said to me the other day?
What did she say?
She said, I don't have paracetamol. I was like, yo, we're not in Saudi, bro. There's no paracetamol in North America. They banned that 3-4 decades ago. But paracetamol, Adara, everywhere. It's ubiquitous in the Middle East.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to say Ramin is I just want to shout out Ramin for always having the painkillers if needed. Like if you're in a situation where you're in pain, you're not doing well. Because having the other day is Ramin, oh my goodness, I was I don't even know if I can do the recap. My mouth was hurting. And so shout out to Ramin and the painkillers in all seriousness.
Yeah, she definitely kills it. She doesn't have the good stuff though, Obi. I gotta tell you, I'm an Advil guy. I'm an ibuprofen guy. Raymond doesn't like Advil.
I got a contact.
You got a contact?
I got a contact. He's got all the good stuff. So
she's got two new ones. Ram. Assassino letting me know that paracetamol is big in Brazil as well.
It's big everywhere.
Yeah,
I think
except North America.
It's North America.
We know better though, right, Obi?
What's that?
We know better. It's banned in North America. America.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Here's another thing though. I want to know who has, I guess, the manufacturing, rights or whatever for both of those.
That's a good question.
Acetaminophen versus paracetamol.
Might be wrong.
There might be some bigger things going on.
You lose your patent
after a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, it is now 2 o'clock, so I'm going to let Ob weasel on over to the show. We'll do a quick, we'll see. We'll send you over to Neil. Are you ready? We'll let Neil get ready, and we'll throw it on over to him.
I'll see you guys
for being
soon.
on, guys. Appreciate that. Jag, isn't acetaminophen and paracetamol the same? They're not. They're not similar, obviously. I think they're both analgesics, but double check that. I could be wrong. I know that ibuprofen is an anti-inflammatory. It's not an analgesic, right? So, Obe knows
They're all
about that.
NSAIDs to me.
Yeah, NSAID. Yeah, this guy, bro, he kills me with that. All right, guys. We talked about Duo. We talked about OLMA. We talked about our gels. We were involved in that. INHT for a moment as well. EQ. It was a small cap gapper day. We were in a lot of positions. Still ending negative on the day, but we're definitely off the lows. I was able to recoup some back from that big loss that I had on PAPL, where I got caught and hauled down. That is the cost of doing business with especially those ones that trade on the MX, where you can't see the theoretical auction price while it's halted. You're flying a little bit blind. That's a lesson learned for last time, or for next time, excuse me. And with that, we're going to send you to Neil. I believe he is ready. Obi will join him shortly. Take care, guys.
Yes. Whoa.